Hello everyone, MVL here, and welcome to my 2022 video game pickups special. In this video we're going to be taking a look at every single video game pickup from my video game pickup videos, and this video's going to be a little different, this special, as opposed to previous live stream specials I've done about video game pickups in years gone by. This video will also include pickups from my unboxing live stream videos and my video game hunting videos as well. Hey Ali, how you doing? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing great. Excited to go over some of my video game pickups that I have collected during this year. Now this won't necessarily be every single video game pickup that I picked up. I've actually done less video game pickup videos this year. That is because I've included pickups in my game hunting videos, which is why they've been added to this video. And I haven't been picking up videos specifically for the, forcing myself to pick up like random cheap PlayStation 2 games or random cheap original Xbox games or 360 games and stuff like that. Because I've got a lot of games as it is. It's harder to find games out in the wild that I'm actually after, hence why there's been less pickup videos. But I've still got a bunch of great stuff to show you guys that I've made a list for. And as opposed to my previous end of year special live streams, I will also be doing my top 10 in this video as well at the end of the video, so look forward to that. There won't be any gameplay footage because it's a little technical to plug in all those different systems for my capture card at once, and sometimes it doesn't like that. Windows updates make that sort of thing a little difficult as well, which is one of the reasons why I'm just going to show the pickups. But yeah, there's gonna be some pickups, and at the very end of the video as well, I will have a little bit of a channel update. I'm saving that to the end in case you're not interested in that sort of thing. We're gonna start straight away with the pickups, my friends. So anyway, the first bunch of pickups we're gonna have a look at. Hey Daniel, how you doing, buddy? Welcome. Happy holidays, my friend. Yeah, this will be the last thing I do on the channel, I think, until 2023. So this will be the end of year special, if you will. Hey Heaven Sent, hope you're doing well, my friend. Appreciate you dropping by. Yeah, happy holidays, my friends. Hope you guys have a good one as well. And if you've got anything, if you're expecting any presents for the holiday period, for Wintermas or what have you, let me know what you picked up or got. That would be pretty cool as well to find out. I normally have an audio function on my microphone to cut out external noise, but that's been malfunctioning a little bit because of, computer updates. So you might hear a lot of external noise going on here. But anyway, I can sense the overall feeling is get on with it, MVL. So I'm going to get on with it. We're going to start with the Hey Seacrest, hope you're doing well, my friend. Welcome, hope you're doing well. Hey, did you get anything for the winter holiday, Seacrest, for your presents or anything like that, or did you give any presents? I'm wondering. So anyway, let's go ahead and check out what I got in my January 2022 pickups video. The name of the video was Evercade VS. And that's a big hint. So the first thing I got is actually not the Evercade VS, but it was the Evercade Purple Edition handheld. Now I was very high on this console. I did an unboxing video for, I think, the Purple and the VS, the handheld system, and the console system as well. It's a great little system. I picked up the limited edition Purple version. Little did I know that not long after this, they were going to do a new handheld and another limited edition, so I missed out on that, unfortunately. Having as many Evercade systems as I have at the moment, I have the original limited edition black version, I picked this one up, and I picked up the console version. I thought getting another one was a little far, even though the new one would have Capcom games in it, so I stood back from that, but I still picked this up. But if I'd known that the other limited edition was coming, I probably wouldn't have picked this up. Maybe they got one over on me there, but it's still cool to have this. But anyway, limited edition Purple Evercade, and it plays cartridge games if anyone was wondering. Unlike the limited black edition, the back of this isn't white, it's purple as well, which is quite nice. And it plays cartridges, fully licensed cartridge games. I got quite a collection of Evercade titles for the system, so I'm pretty happy about that. I also picked up the console, which I'll show you pretty much just now. So the console version, which was the name of this pickup video, which was in January for my pickups for Evercade Versus, I picked up the console as well. And this was a very good system. I did a unboxing and review of this. It's the wrong way around. There you go. And this is their console like home unit. So this is not handheld like their original system. And you can put up to 2 cartridge systems in at the same time to have the games for each of those cartridges available at the same time. And like I mentioned, they have fully licensed cartridge releases for their systems. They have Lots of different things. The only things that aren't playable on this is the Namco collections. There's 2 Namco collections, and they're not playable on the VS, unfortunately. And I don't think that's ever going to be fixed, unfortunately. It's a licensing issue. That's a shame, because the Namco collections were licensed for a handheld originally, then they made a console unit, and Namco wasn't cool with them using that on this without, I assume, paying extra, which I imagine Blaze Entertainment wasn't cool with doing. But anyway, yes, lots and lots and lots of games can be played on this, and it's very cool. It's a cool system. I enjoy it quite a lot. I've used it a fair bit. It's nice that this one goes straight to TV without any messing around, and you can use a regular controller with the controller ports here. So I really like this system. It might be seen on my top 10, which I'll show at the end of the video. It's a very cool system, and there's a lot of good games that I like on this thing. Anyway, let's move on to the actual games that I picked up. So first of all, for the game side, I picked up on that January video, I picked up Golden Axe on the Master System. Already had this game on the Mega Drive, of course. Fantastic game. It is a beat-em-up game, very classic. This game has great music as well. I enjoy the chiptune style music on this, especially on the Commodore 64 version. That has really good music as well. And this one's pretty cool. It's a good conversion for the 8-bit system, for the 16-bit game. That game got around, it was on everything. And this is a pretty good, you might be able to see the clips on the back there, depending on how my camera likes to operate. You know, it's a live stream. My webcam does autofocusing, so it won't necessarily pick up everything correctly. But yeah, this is a fun game. It's not as good. Yeah, I gotta say, it's not as good as the Mega Drive version, which is a classic game, of course. Absolutely love that. Love playing that multiplayer as well. Even though on the Sega CD, or the Mega CDs we called it over here, it wasn't multiplayer. But anyway, I'm diving into a divergent topic. Speaking of a divergent topic, the Streets of Rage 2 on the Master System is a very expensive game, the Master System version of Streets of Rage 2. And that's been one I've been looking for a while. I've seen it in a shop, and it normally goes for like 200 or something. It's crazy. Crazy. Speaking of stuff that goes for crazy money, the Corrin Amiibo recently got a reprint. I think it's only in America, we can't get it over here in Europe and the UK, but that Amiibo goes over £200. So if you're overseas, you might want to pick up that Corrin Player 2 Amiibo, because they normally go for a high price. If you collect Amiibos, that is, I do. By the way, no Amiibos will be on this video, even though I did have Amiibos on my pickup videos previously. But yes, this is cartridge and manual is included in here. There you go. Always like to get them complete if I can get them complete. That's Golden Axe on the Master System. That was the technically first game pickup of 2022, even though there were some games included on the Evercade VS, that being the Founder Edition. So the next thing I got was Bubble Bobble, old and new. Now this is really going to test the autofocus of my camera. It's probably not going to want to do it, but there you go. Bubble Bobble, old and new. This contains a previous version of Bubble Bobble and a newer version of Bubble Bobble. Bubble Bobble is a fantastic game. Great on the NES, for example. It's been on basically everything, Game Boy and what have you going forward. Absolutely amazing game. Very fun on this as well. It's got a modern twist version, and you get to play a retro style version of Bubble Bobble as well on this collection on the Game Boy Advance. And the Game Boy Advance had a lot of fantastic games. My preferred way of playing Game Boy Advance games is by playing them on the Game Boy Player on the GameCube. Of course, the GameCube Game Boy Player can play up to Game Boy Advanced, whereas the Game Boy Player on the Super Nintendo can only play Game Boy and some Game Boy Color. So I like playing this on the TV if I can help it, hence why I picked up the VS system for the Evercade, so I can play those games on the TV. But yeah, good version of Bubble Bobble here. Was a cool grab for this. I want to say I actually got this in Camborne or Red Roof. I want to say it was Camborne, and it was probably during the period of a Game Hunt video. But since that time, because this was sort of end of last year into currently this year, since that time I separate my pickups from the game hunting videos and the pickup videos, so you won't see any repeats in those, except for, of course, a special like this where I show everything. Anyway, there's that. Also, I will say that this isn't everything I picked up. I picked up the odd couple of other game, but if it's like a modern game, or if I don't think the game is that interesting, I tend not to include on my pickups anyway. And some games, I picked up a couple of Switch games, for example, because I'm quite high on the Switch at the moment. For stuff like that, I tend to do like, if you're over on Patreon or YouTube channel member, you have access to some Breaking the Seal videos, some little unboxing videos. That's just thank yous from me to you, and you can see some of the Switch games in those quick little videos of your supporters. A thank you from me to you. But anyway, next up we have Final Fantasy Tactics on the Game Boy Advance. I really want to get this in the box, but I haven't got it in the box. It's expensive to get in the box. It's one of those things where, do I want to play the upgrade to just put a box on this? The game works by itself perfectly fine. And to Seacrest's point as well, you also get the emoticons on my face, so you can use my face however you want if you are a YouTube channel member, that is. And so here's Final Fantasy Tactics. Now this was also on the PSP, and I think I have it on the PSP as well. Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Great game, absolutely fantastic. And originally it was on other systems, of course, prior, and this is sort of a newer version of it. Wanted to pick this up. Really want to get through all of the Final Fantasy games, but I really want to get through a lot of the Shining Force games and the Xenosaga games, and etc. RPG games tend to take a little bit of time to get through, and that's why it's more work to get through a RPG game. I will say, when it comes to the top 10 at the end of this video, the top 10 will be stuff that I have actually played. So even if a game is really, really good, if I haven't finished playing it, it probably won't be in the top 10. So this unfortunately, I haven't finished playing this game at this time. Even though it's been out forever, I just haven't gotten around to it, as is the way of a lot of games, so this won't be in there. But Final Fantasy Tactics, turn-based RPG, great. And I also got the cartridge protector case, which is nice to have as well. So the next one was Midway's Arcade Greatest Hits. And this is a collection of a couple of games. This was definitely, I think I definitely picked this up from my Game Hunt video because it was a little damaged. And this is why I visited Red Roof Games or Camborne Games. I can't remember which, but it was one of those locations. I want to say Camborne Games. My memory is terrible. I picked this up there, and it's got a couple of arcade games on it. It's not the best way to play these games, I've got to be fair, from the conversions on this. They're not like quite arcade perfect. I think the PlayStation version of this same collection, it might be a little bit better, might run a little better. But still cool to have on the go. I want to say that this collection was ported to like basically everything anyway, so you can get this on pretty much everything. But I think the PlayStation 1 will be the way to go, and I'm pretty sure the arcade games on this can be picked up on pretty much any system these days anyway, so there's that. Anyways, greatest arcade hits on the Game Boy Advance. The next one I picked up was Pitfall: The Mayan Adventure on the Game Boy Advance. Pitfall Harry Returns. Once voiced by the guy that plays Ash in Evil Dead. So that's pretty cool. Bruce Campbell played him on the PlayStation game. But this is, I believe, the spawn, if you will, of Pitfall Harry going to save their elder in this adventure. I only played this game for a little bit in the gameplay footage that I included for this in January video, and I think it was a little bit... It was a cool game, it looked great, it looked really good, but I just don't think I gave the time that this game needed to get my head around it. But yeah, it's a pretty cool game. It's a platformer. It's very different to the Atari game that it gets its name from, but it's still pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, I got this for like £2 or something, I think. I think I got this from Camborne Games. I think so. And I think it was like £2 or £1 or something due to its condition. Same with the other cartridge I showed previously. So yeah, it's pretty cool to pick this up. Pitfall: The Mayan Adventure on the Game Boy Advance. The next one was one I was really happy to get, and that was Shining Soul 2 on the Game Boy Advance in a cartridge protector as well. Hey Linda, how you doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream. We've just got underway. I'm going to show off my video game pickups for 2022. At the end of the video, I'm going to do a best of, or a top 10, which I normally would do in a separate video, or I should say have previously done in a separate video, but we'll be combining them for this video. And because I'm doing less pickups going forward, because I'm just trying to get stuff, like I've got a lot of stuff as it is, I'm just trying to get stuff I'm actually after going forward. We're not sure what's going to be the next holiday special. Maybe I'll do a review video like I do with my Halloweens, maybe. Not definite. We'll see what I do. Or some other kind of video. But yeah, Shining Soul 2. Now, Shining Soul were remakes of the Shining Force games. And it's kind of like the second remake saga, if you will. Because they also did Resurrection of Dark Dragon, which was a remake of Shining Force as well. So Shining Force has had like 3 versions of the first game, I think. Yeah, I think so. And it's a bit complicated. It's one of the game series I want to get through as well. And this was one I really wanted. Again, it's a game I'd really love to have in the box. Definitely would have loved to have it in the box. but I've got it as the loose cartridge. It's happy to have that in. I think I got it for a good price, so I'm happy to have that. But it is definitely a game I would like to get the loose box. Now, if you guys saw my recent game hunting video, you know I was able to pick up a couple of boxes for cartridges that I already had, and that'll be at the end of this video. You see that again. But it was cool to do that, and it's possible I might get the boxes for these down the line, which would be very cool. But anyway, that's an RPG there. Shining Soul 2, not to be confused with Shining Force 2. Same game series, but kind of offshoot or reimagining of that. Very cool to get that, and also get the protector. I like to get protector cases for all of my cartridge games if possible, but these can be expensive by themselves. So it's nice to get them when they're on the cartridge. Otherwise, it's something I wouldn't actually go out and seek the cartridge cases, if you will. But if I can find them, it's pretty good. Hope you're doing well as well, Linda. If you got any cool winter gifts for the holiday season of holiday gaming, where we get a little bit of time off work to spend on the games. Speaking of games, from the same video for the PlayStation 1, I picked up Alundra 2. There's going to be a lot of glare on the PlayStation cases because of the nature of the case, it being a glass or plastic style sheen, and I have notes on my other screen in front of me so that I know which video these games came from. So I'll hold this here so you can actually see it without the glare of the screen on it. There you go. So Alundra 2, an RPG, 3D RPG for the PlayStation 1, sequel to The Adventures of Alundra. And it's awkward that this is Alundra 2 and the second game starts with the prefix. So they end up in different places on my shelf, and it actually kind of confuses me because, as I mentioned, I've got a bad memory. Great game though, very happy to pick this up. I want to say this was from Red Roof Games, and I'm starting to remember that these were probably from that late 2021 game hunting video leading into an early 2022 pickups video. And yeah, this was a fantastic game. Great to get this, and in great condition as well. The first game I picked up from Faceless Monkey, The Adventures of Alundra, and I had the map and the little guidebook in there, or if there is a map. I know there was a hint book in there or something, so that was cool to grab as well. New Legend Reborn, and I want to say this is complete with the manual and the disc, and it is indeed, so there's that. And that was the additional features that were included in this one. Well, yeah, very cool to get this one. Hopefully I'll get round to this one at some point. I know Linda, for example, has been on a big game completion drive, and maybe I should do that at some point and try and get through some of these games. You know, it wouldn't be a bad idea, actually, even though it would be stealing from Linda's idea, because I know Linda does game completion videos. Maybe that would be a successor to the pickup videos. It's just brainstorming anyway, but it might be something to do. I don't think I currently complete games fast enough at my own pace, Linda. Yeah, I don't complete games very fast. I gotta be honest. I play games very slowly. So if I was to do a game, stealing an idea. Yeah, there's no chance, Linda. Because if I was to do the completion videos, like how many games I completed in a month, it would be like one, if anything. Or I'd start a video, games completed this month. Didn't get through any. The next game I pick up was Hugo, and this Hugo Frog Fighter. It's kind of like Frogger. It's like a kind of cool puzzle game. This game is very, very hard. Like, this was extremely difficult, and I thought it was just me, but I looked up online, and this is quite difficult. There's many who make one video for the year of game completions. That's an idea, Linda, for sure. Yeah, there's so many classic games I need to go back and finish that either I didn't have the time for at the time it passed me by, or simply with a lot of modern games like the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3, those games completely passed me by. So there's a lot of games that I missed down the line. This game plays a bit like Frogger, but it sort of like gets more complicated as you go along. And this one is very hard. This is a very hard game with a broken case, as you can see. And that happens with a lot of these PAL-style jewel cases, by the way. They break very, very easily. I've always been envious of the American-style cases with the CD cases, not only because, you know, they can replace them easier, but you also fit more on your shelves that way as well. Can I actually fix this case? Well, I can put it back together, not fix it, but there you go. Hugo Frog Fighter with a slightly broken case like many of the PlayStation cases. Anyway, the last two games I picked up from the January video were two DS games, and these were games that I saw in my game hunting video. It's coming back to me now, but I didn't grab at the time, but I realized after the fact that they were quite expensive, so I went back and grabbed them after the fact. And this was from one of my late 2021 game hunting videos, but ended up in my pickup video, which was in 2022. The first one was the Mega Man Zero collection, the Mega Man Zero collection for the DS. Now, it's bizarre that this is so sought after, because I think the PlayStation number 4 has a collection of these games plus additional games on it, so I don't know why this one is quite expensive. It's certainly not a low print run game, but it is rather sought after for whatever reason. So this is one of the games that I went to go back and grab after not having a tunnel vision of filming my game hunting video in the first place. And it's a bunch of Mega Man Zero games. They're all great games. Mega Man games, of course, are quite hard if you're not used to that sort of thing. And it was good to pick this up in one collection. I mean, certainly, even so, it was still better to grab this than to grab these games individually for whatever systems it would have been on previously. So that was really good. So I picked this up, and some of these are pretty hard, but the graphical style, the music, and the sprite work in all of these games is absolutely amazing. So I'm really glad to have this, and I wouldn't mind picking up the modern port that has extra games on it as well. Hey UFO, you love the Shining Force games? Man, I do as well. And I'm really glad that some of the, like the Mega Drive Mini 2, for example, had the CD games on it as well, because those were quite hard to procure previously, especially in the PAL region. So it was good to have those. And plus the CD games, you needed a memory expansion or something as well to play them, which was also quite awkward to do. So glad to get those. But anyway, also glad to pick this up, the Mega Man Zero collection. I know there's a lot of Mega Man fans out there. On the DS. DS games getting quite collectible recently. So if you're a fan of the DS, you want to try and get those sought after games before they get even more sought after. And speaking of, this one surprised me a little bit, and it was Solar to Robo Red the Hunter on the DS. I think this is the Australian version. Now the DS is region free, I think, but the 3DS is region locked, so keep that in mind. So you can play DS games for the most part from any region, but 3DS games are region locked. I think that's right. Anyway, this is a PAL. I hope I'm right there anyway. This is the PAL version, but it is Australian version, which is why it has the thinner case. The American style black case, again, they had thinner cases. The reason we had larger cases for the DS and also PlayStation 1 games is the manuals fit more languages in, which also meant less fit on your shelf, which is a problem for me with lots of games on the shelf. But yes, I would have preferred these smaller cases. They're glad the Switch is region free. Me as well, Linda, because I've been getting a lot of Switch games overseas for sure. Yeah, that's one of the advantages of some of the modern systems that allows that to happen. DLC, though, unfortunately, still not region free, which is quite annoying. Especially if you get a game overseas on the modern systems and you want to get some downloadable content for it and it's region locked, that's awkward. But this is an RPG and you get to play as a furry character. He's a fox boy, a dog boy, I forget. But he's a cool furry hero. I played a little bit of this in the adventure. This game's really good. It's got a really unique combat system as well, where you pick up enemies and throw them, and it's quite unique. This also has DLC on it, and I think that the DS is no longer able to do that. But I think this just needs you to connect to download it. I think it's on the cartridge, but it wants you to connect. I'm not sure what extra missions are on there, but it has that on it. I think the American version, you don't even need to connect to the internet to get that extra content either. I think this is complete with a booklet. I could be wrong. Well, this could be the error. Yes, there is a booklet in here. It's just the wrong way around. So there's the booklet. I'll get it the right way around. And yeah, as you can see, I like these American cartridge cases a lot more, because especially with the GBA slot and the form factor, it would be a great solution to your GBA unboxed games, especially if you have the manual lying around. And yes, in fact, the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games over here in the PAL region, the side of those games, the spines, all the tops, often don't have the title on them, so they're really annoying to organize on your shelf because they're kind of blank. I don't know if it's the same with the American region, but over in the PAL region, it's potluck, or it's anybody's guess whether the Game Boy Color cases, Game Boy Advance cases actually have the name on the spines. I have a large collection of Xbox 360 and PS2 games. UFO, but not any DS games. That's fair. You know, I'm really hoping that I know there's been talk of a DS consolizer in the future that some clever people are working on. It's getting a DS to be capture modded, because I would love to stream some DS or 3DS games. I'm hoping they're able to do what clever people did with the Game Boy Advance, where they made a consoleized version of that, even though you can get the Game Boy Player on the GameCube. But if they did something like that for the DS or 3DS, that'd be great. The games, for the most part, have the game name. Not sure for every game, Linda. Yeah, over here in the PAL region, some of our Game Boy games have just like just random text on the side and not the title. So it's really awkward. I'm thinking about putting them all in box protectors and then put on the box protector putting a sticker of the name on it so I can actually tell. So it's not just like random unmarked spines of games. It's quite awkward. Anyway, that was all of the January pickups from the Evercade Versus video. You can check that video out on the channel, of course, if you want to see gameplay footage for every game included. And of course, you might as well check out the end of 2021 game hunting video that some of those games I think also may have appeared in. We're going on to the February pickups video, which was called Retro Gaming. And the first thing I picked up in that video was some cables. These might not be the actual cables, these are just cables in front of me, but they were Rad2Xs. I picked up some Rad2Xs, picked up the Mega Drive 1 and the PS2 Rad2X. Now, this is the PS2 Rad2X, and I think this might be the Mega Drive 1. I also have a Nintendo one of these as well. And these are essentially line doublers for your retro systems. The Nintendo one's really good as well because it works on the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, which I have RGB modded. I did a video about that actually, my RGB modded Nintendo 64, so you can check that out and see all about that. And I actually have my Mega Drive modded by Scodico Retro as well, which my N64 is modded by the same person, to be RGB modded. It was already RGB capable, but it made it a little bit better. I also made it region unlocked as well, so I can switch to region on it. Anyway, I'm rambling. These devices essentially just line double the output of the system. They conventionally take the RGB. If the RGB is not available, they take the composite video, and they line double it. So if it's 240 lines from the American perspective, it becomes 280 lines. 480 lines, 480. So if it's 240, it becomes 480. Slip of the tongue there. Or if it's PAL, 288 lines, it becomes 576 lines. And it goes out to HDMI. Doesn't need power, except for the PlayStation 1, it needs power. And it's a great HDMI solution, and there's virtually zero lag. It's good at switching resolutions, and it's one of the best solutions out there, definitely. I can't recommend Retro Gaming Cables Rad2X enough. It uses the same technology from the RetroTink cables from Mike Chi with his RetroTink products, which is absolutely fantastic. So it's really the best you can get out of there, and I can't speak highly of it enough. I got those for myself, and they were really good. But anyway, that's what I use for a lot of my older systems, if I can get it. I picked up some Master System games as well, and some of those games are from that same pickup video. We have Dynamite Duke here, an action game, and this is a pretty cool game. You're like in the center of the screen, and you like fire out at enemies there. Hey Ray, do I still use the Retro Freak? I do use it for a lot of stuff. So the stuff I use the Retro Freak for is stuff like overseas games. So like I have a PAL, Nintendo Entertainment System, for example, Ray, and I can't play American games at the correct speed on my PAL Nintendo Entertainment System. But if I use the Retro Freak and I put my American games in that, granted it is emulation, but it will play at the correct speed. If I can't get a game to work as well, like with a couple of my Master System games, I have a Model 1 Master System. I have a Model 2 Master System, and the Model 2 Master System has very bad video output. It only has RF or area output, so it's really bad video quality. If I had a Model 1, it would be fine, because then I could use RGB. But I don't have a Model 1 Master System, I have a Model 2. So I can't get good video footage from my Master System games unless I go through my Mega Drive with my Master System converter. And some of the games don't work with that as well. I'm not sure if it's my converter or something, but sometimes for that I might use a Retro Freak instead as well. And there's a lot of systems. I used to use it for all of my TurboGrafx and PC Engine stuff until I got the core graphics modded from Scodico Retro and EverDrive for that, which is very good. And I use it for a lot of oddball stuff like that. Famicom Disk System games it plays as well. And it's really good. But for stuff, if I have the hardware, I'll use the actual hardware. And for stuff like the Game Boy Advance, you're better off using the Game Boy player on the GameCube for sure. And but yeah, stuff like Famicom games, Super Famicom games, stuff where I don't have like the console, like Japanese consoles, and they won't work on my PAL systems. Those will go on the Retro Freak, and it's very handy for that. Plus, I can use it for translation patches as well, so it's really good for that. Still use that, still get a lot of mileage out of that thing, definitely. If it broke, 100% I would buy another one straight away. If it was able. I know it's hard to get hold of these days. Anyway, Dynamite Duke is an action game. It's got the hotline here from Belgium, apparently, for some reason. So this might have been an international version of this release. This is complete with the cartridge and the manual in there. Very cool. And that's very useful to have the manual so you know what the controls are. And this is a really cool game. It's an action game. You're kind of stuck in the middle of the screen and you can like fire out to the enemy or hit enemy if they come close to you. It's a very cool game. That's Dynamite Duke on the Master System. Next game I picked up was Gain Ground. This game is an absolutely great game, by the way. And look at the Master System cover. It's so epic. Very epic looking cover there. Even though it's a little bit, I think, water damaged here, so it's kind of hard to see. There's a little bit of like water damage wrinkling from here. But this is a cool game. It's a strategy game. Overhead strategy game. And you go through different time periods in this game to defeat a supercomputer to save the world. It's a really good game. It's really fun. This might have slipped my mind for the top 10, actually. Might have been worthy of that position. Complete with the cartridge and the manual as well in this version. If I can get the little bit of dirt on the cartridge, there's a little bit of dirt on the manual here, but you can't really help that with the age of these. If I can get the cartridge and the manual complete, I will. But if I can get the game in the box, I will go for it, even if the manual's missing. If I can get it at a good price, then that's what I'll go for. So Gain Ground, fantastic strategy game, even though it says action game. It's kind of an action strategy for the Master System. The next one is another Master System game. This one is unboxed, and it is Line of Fire. Very cool game, different from the arcade game of the same name. And this is essentially a shoot 'em up. Really cool game. Glad to get this. I would love to get this in the box, obviously. I would love to get everything in the box, but you know, you kind of go for what you can get for when you find it. You can't be too picky. If you find it, you might never see it again. So, especially in my region, where you know retro stuff is harder to find in my region in the southwest of the UK. There's not a lot there. And so this is really cool to pick up. It's a shoot 'em up game. It's really fun. Cool to pick this up. I was very glad to have this. Master System games, some of them look really good. Some of them look so good that they are 16-bit looking, even though they're not. They're 8-bit. But I love the Master System, so great system. Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion comes to mind when I think of 8-bit games that look like 16-bit games that look so good. And anyway, that's a little bit of the Master System. Line of Fire is a great game. You missed the cases, Ray. They were a lot better. The Master System and Mega Drive game cases, or Genesis if you call it overseas, were a lot better than the Nintendo cardboard boxes. And I mean that strictly speaking, that the plastic boxes withstood the test of time, and the cardboard boxes withered away and broke up, and a lot of people just threw them away. So yeah, good to have these when you can get them in the box, for sure. The next Master System game I picked up is definitely an action game, although this one says arcade, and that is Shinobi. Everyone knows the Shinobi games are pretty difficult. Cool cover here as well on this one. Reminds me of like The Last Ninja from the Commodore 64. Very cool platformer game. Love the Shinobi games. Hey Jason, how you doing, buddy? Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Happy holidays, my friend. This one hasn't got the manual, but it does have the insert here with the... it's got the cartridge, of course. But it does have the little insert here with all of the upcoming games. I can see Phantasy Star on here. And I can see Golden Axe on the far right. But it's always nice to have a look at these inserts that came with it. With the Master System Model 2. That's the version I've got there. I have both Mega Drive models. And on the back here, you have some more advertisements for the Ultimate Challenge in games. How about that? Very cool to get a look at those. So I got that in there, even though I don't have the manual now. It's still cool to have that. If I can get that back in there decently. Alright. Yeah, very cool game. Pretty tough game, of course. Pretty tough game, but very cool game. You in the UK as well, UFO? Nice. And I also picked up, this is a little bit of a rarity to find, especially over here. And it is a HuCard style game, not HuCard, Sega My Card. A HuCard would be if it was PC Engine. Sega My Card, it's tell you what, I got it in a trading card sleeve here actually. And yeah, this is Teleboy for the Master System, also released on cartridge. So this is just the HuCard version. And this will work on your Master System Model 1, and it'll also work with a Master System converter. Not the Model 2 converter, just the Model 1 converter, because the other one doesn't have a card slot. But yeah, same game. This is one of the games I think I had to do. I can't remember if I had to do this on the Retro Freak or not, because it wasn't working properly, but I think my cartridge converter is having issues, and that's what it is. Some Master System games don't work if you put them through a converter on the Mega Drive if you don't have the right controller. I was using the right controller. I think it's just an issue with my converter or something. But yeah, I was having issues with a couple of my Master System games for my recording, so I ended up using the Retro Freak. And yeah, this was cool to find. This is a platformer, very colourful one. I like to keep these cards in the trading card sleeves, just to keep dust off them. And I found that with the HuCards, for the TurboGrafx cards at least, the sleeves they came in kind of got a little bit sticky, like the plastic degraded. So I put these in acid-free and non-degradable sleeves if I can help it. Hope a lot of these games get re-released one day, Linda. Yeah, you know, I'm hoping that either they find their way onto the Nintendo Online system, because I know Nintendo started putting Sega stuff on that recently, or they release a version of like the Mega Drive Mini, for example, with either... I wouldn't personally prefer an online store, but if they released a Mega Drive Mini with an online store, I could understand it. Or if they released like a Mega Drive Mini but had an actual working cartridge slot, and in that cartridge slot you could put like different releases. Kind of essentially what the Evercade VS has done, where you release a plug and play system and then it's released like cartridge compilations and put those in it. I think the Atari Flashbacks did stuff like that, if I'm not incorrect, but I probably am. But I know that sort of thing's been done before, and it would be pretty cool if they did that for like a lot of these older systems. We were certainly hoping for something like that with the NES Mini, because the NES Mini ended up having, what was it, a USB slot on it or something that wasn't used for anything, and we thought, hey, maybe they're going to release USB cartridges you could put in there and get extra games, and that would have been pretty cool. But I didn't think they ended up doing that. But yeah, that would have been cool. Alright, the next game is also unboxed, and we are now on the Mega Drive, or as the Americans might call it, the Genesis. And the first game is The Revenge of Shinobi. Now, I actually already had this game. I had it in a collection of Mega Games collection. You got a couple of like triple game collections over here in the PAL land. PAL area, if you will, and one of them I think was released as triple score over in America, but the rest of them were just PAL exclusive. One of those had The Revenge of Shinobi, so I already had this game, but I didn't have the individual cartridge, and I think this was very cheap. I want to say I picked this up from Retro Replay, but I could be wrong. And yeah, cool game, another Shinobi game, pretty difficult platformer, but it's cool to pick this one up. And it's definitely one I wanted to have in my collection, even though I already had it technically in a collection in of itself. But yeah, cool to pick this one up for the Mega Drive, The Revenge of Shinobi. Another game I already had, but I didn't have this version, and it is Zool on the Mega Drive. Now, I already had this game on the Amiga, which is a British computer. Amiga was a Commodore system that came after the Commodore VIC-20, the Commodore 64, and then the 128, and then the Amiga 500, 500 plus 600, 1200, etc. And I had this game on the Amiga. The problem is I've either lost it, or specifically I know I've lost the code wheel. So old PC games sometimes had like this copy protection thing where it was just like a cardboard wheel that you'd have to spin around and get a code on it, and the game would ask you for that. Or sometimes a game like Dune 2, I think, on the Amiga would ask you a question about something in the manual. So you had to have the manual of the game. They would ask you about a unit in the manual, and you have to answer that to play the game. I no longer have, if I do have the floppy disks for the Amiga version, I no longer have the code wheel, so I can't play the game. I got this on the Mega Drive. It's basically the same version as the Genesis, and the Amiga versions were often very similar. This game also came out on the Evercade recently, which was pretty cool, from a collection. And yeah, the Ninja of the Ninth Dimension. This was like the Amiga's like Sonic, if you will. Like it's much less popular mascot character overseas, but over here I think this was relatively well known. At least it was around in my circles. Zool was a pretty well loved character. I know that I've seen a lot of people overseas just immediately scoff at this character. To be fair, and in retrospect, I can understand it, I guess. And this even has a little Electronic Arts like phone numbers for hopelessly hung up in the world of wizardry and wonder. Electronic Arts hint line. Yeah, you've got the hint line numbers. These definitely won't be working if you phone them these days. Can you imagine if I was to try and phone one of these numbers and be like, hello, I'm stuck on Zool on the Mega Drive. Please help me. I wonder what would happen. First of all, you'd probably get a number that wasn't even remotely related to what you phoned up, right? You'd get just some complete stranger. That'd be pretty funny, actually. Although, you know, there's a large chance you might end up getting... This case is completely broken. It won't even shut. Like, the case is, like, snapped at the bottom here, so I can't shut it. How did I shut it in the first place? I have no idea. Anyway, this case is kind of broken. So, yeah. Oh, it does shut. It just needs to be kind of, like, pushed a bit hard to shut it. Alright, anyway, Zool. There you go. With a broken case and some unusable hint lines in there. The next game is on the PlayStation 2. And it is Seven Blades. Another game I might have skipped over when thinking of the top 10, to be fair, but I haven't played enough of this game to include it. It was a very cool PS2 hack and slash game. Gameplay footage, both of these in the February pickups videos, of course, you want to check that out. But this game was very cool. And I picked up another hack and slash game, which you'll see in a moment as well, for the PlayStation 2, which is also really cool. But yeah, this was a lot of fun to pick these up. Furious hack and slash action, it says on the back. Furious. This is complete with the disc and the manual, of course. Very cool game. Quite visually nice as well. And I enjoy the hack and slash games. Zool and Sonic are classic games. UFO Man, for sure, definitely. Another renowned character here on the PlayStation 2. We have Bomberman Hardball. This is basically like the Wii Sports before Wii Sports, and it's a bunch of mini games for Bomberman. For the PlayStation 2, you've got a Bomberman battle game, essentially, like a regular style Bomberman multiplayer game. You got a tennis game like Mario Tennis. You got a golf game like Mario Golf, and you got a baseball style game, or similar to cricket as we would call it over here. There's some images on the back there you can see. It's a bunch of mini games. It's actually probably a pretty fun party game, to be fair. And this was pretty cool to pick up, and this was very cheap as well, complete with the disc and the manual in there. How about that? Very cool. I think this one was pretty fun as well. Like, the tennis game was pretty good. I think it was pretty good. It wasn't Mario Tennis, but it was pretty good. And then the other hack and slash game from the February video was Raging Blades on the PlayStation 2 as well. Another cool hack and slash game. Very fun to pick this one up as well. And this one, I want to say it was more like Gauntlet style visually, but I might be misremembering. This was very cool as well. Another cool hack and slash game with lots of cool characters in it, and hack and slash action with a story mode as well, and a dual mode included. Disc and manual included in this one as well. I think I got the hack and slash games. I think I got them from eBay, to be fair, because I think I knew that they were quite cheap and I wanted them. I don't often try and get stuff in person when possible, but I think I did go to eBay for those, to be fair. They're an electronic seller. Alright, the next pickup video was the March pickup video. So that was the end of the February pickup video. Hey HDX, how you doing, Helly? Happy holidays, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Have you got any holiday pickups yourself? Anyone got any holiday pickups that you've picked up? Or you're keeping them to yourselves, keeping them secret, keeping them safe? Thanks for the likes, my friends. Hope you guys are doing well as we head into the holiday season and the new year, or as we are in that at present. So that was the end of the February pickups, with Raging Blades there being the last pickup of that video. If you want to check out gameplay footage for those games, go check out the February video game pickups video, Retro Gaming, on the channel. And the next one I did was in March, and it was a pickups video which I called PC Engine. And it's very telling that the first thing I have to show for that is the core graphics. And this was a modded core graphics. Got a pre-order of the Hogwarts game. That counts, Ellie. That counts. Nice to know you got some stuff coming. I know that game will be very popular because it's a very popular intellectual property for sure. There's the core graphics. So this is essentially a PC engine. This is modded by Scodico Retro for enhanced video out, and so this has great RGB output on it. Now I got this, and this is a little bit of a complicated explanation here, but I got this because the PAL TurboGrafx 16 plays everything in 50 Hz, so it plays everything in the PAL speed. So there's no PAL games for the TurboGrafx. We got essentially like whatever American games trickled down to the UK is what we got. Our system was forced to run everything slower, around about 17% slower. Nothing was adjusted to run in the PAL region. So a lot of people think PAL stuff just runs slower in general. We have just different video settings, if you will. Stuff doesn't run slower in the PAL region, but if stuff isn't adjusted from its original version to the PAL region, then it will run slower. And that's the problem I had with all of my TurboGrafx games, because my system, the PAL system, was just an American system that was forced to run everything at 50 Hz, around about 17% slower. So I've always wanted to pick up a decent system. The Japanese core graphics was what I wanted, but I ran into another problem here, and the other problem was I ended up picking this up, and I picked up this cartridge converter from an eBay seller, and this is one of the things you can't trust eBay sellers. I got a lot of knowledge of this sort of thing, Helly. Yeah, for sure. You kind of have to in some instances. And this is one time I got caught out. So I picked up this cartridge converter, and the point of this little thing was you're supposed to use this to play your Japanese games on your American systems, or your American games on your Japanese systems. And the seller told me that this thing would work on every system, and it definitely doesn't, because it doesn't work on this, which is unfortunate. But I did find a workaround solution. I'll let you guys know that I did get a Turbo EverDrive from Crits. So I have an EverDrive now. So that's what I use, and everything, I just put all of the ROM files of the games I have on the EverDrive and play on this. So it worked out happily in the end, but I had to get something else. Yeah, you got to be careful, Ray, for sure. I'm misinformed with this device. So what this will work on my American PAL system, I should say. I can use this to play Japanese games on my PAL system, which you still wouldn't want to do because then they run slowly. You put the card in there, and then put this in the system, and it basically runs. That's what it does. But the core graphics has an internal region lockout, so American games won't work on this. But if you are using the latest Turbo EverDrive from Crits, awesome guy who makes these EverDrives, which are basically cartridges that can run like the ROMs from everything, and then it'll have it's basically an all-in-one cartridge, and you put your ROM files on that you have, and you can run them on this, and that way you can get past, because it will treat it as if it is a PC Engine card, and everything will run fine because it runs at the same basic speed anyway. So I can play all of my American games and all of my Japanese games on this with the Turbo EverDrive, and I know Crits is making a new Turbo EverDrive soon as well, which is pretty cool. But anyway, that's how I am currently doing it. And yeah, this is pretty awesome. This is a very good system, great video output. I can use a real controller, a real system. And using the EverDrive is not emulation, because the data is coming to the original hardware exactly the way it expects it to be. So the only difference is that you're using the ROM files. Yeah, it's awkward. It's awkward when you get messed up by an online seller, Helly, for sure. But ultimately, I did get what I wanted anyway. So it's just one of those things where you'd have to do a little bit more research. But anyway, I did pick up on this PC Engine video some more games, which I was eventually able to get working. So the first one I picked up is Dead Moon. And I got it in a trading card sleeve right here. This is a Hue card. This is actually an American TurboGrafx game. Now normally the American games would just have text in like a coloured, they wouldn't have any artwork on the Hue card itself, or the TurboGrafx card in this instance. So TurboGrafx 16 rather than Hue card, or TurboGrafx 16 Hue card to be precise. But this one was one of the early games, so it has artwork on there. And yeah, this is a shoot 'em up game. A lot of the games I picked up were shoot 'em up games. That's what I wanted to grab. How many Mega Drive games do I have? UFO Man? Not sure myself. A good amount. There'll be people that have a lot more than me for sure. There's still a lot of games I do need to pick up, but I have a good number. And it's hard to tell because my Mega Drive games are split between, I have like unboxed games in one section and boxed games in another. But yeah, overall like a large game collection, but console by console I couldn't be sure. I do have a place where I do catalog my collection, so I know I don't buy the same thing twice. But yeah, definitely have a good amount. It's actually just off camera is where my Mega Drive games are currently. There's a boxed games, like I said. I've got a game room tour as well that you could probably check out, which might show it a little more in depth. So there's Dead Moon, the TurboGrafx-16 shoot 'em up game. I also picked up a boxed game. This is Final Blaster. This is a PC Engine game, and they come in these style of cases, CD cases, which is a lot better than having the cardboard cases you might get for Nintendo games at the time. And I did take off the little plastic sleeve these come in. They used to come in these plastic sleeves, but I found that the sleeves these would come in would degrade and get a bit sticky and broken down. So yeah, it's Final Blaster. Manual in here. I think this is a thing that American games did as well, where they have the manual being the front cover. It's in the UK we had like a paper inlay and then a manual for most part. But yeah, there's that. That's our Final Blaster, another shoot 'em up game for the PC Engine. This one. All right, and the next one. Hey Todd, how you doing, buddy? Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you dropping by. You're awesome, buddy. Thanks for checking out the stream, my friend. The next one I picked up was Formation Armed F. Nope, that's what I just showed. I've shown them out of sequence now. It is going to be Final Blaster, yeah. So I meant to show this before this, but you know, these may be out of order, just so you guys know. This is a Japanese hue card. The back of this, of course, is different. All of the Japanese games had nice artwork on the front. Most of the American ones just had text. And it's another shoot 'em up game. Surprise, surprise. There are a lot of shoot 'em up games on the system. It's kind of like there are so many shoot 'em up games on the PC Engine, or TurboGrafx, if you will. And it's like the Neo Geo. There are a lot of beat 'em up games on that. Same deal with this. A lot of beat 'em up games. Hope you're doing well, HDX. Thanks for checking it out, Haley. Thanks for checking it out, and congratulations on your present you're getting. And I'll catch you next time, my friend. Hope to see you later. See you, buddy, and I will catch you next time. So Final Blaster, another shoot 'em up game. If you want to see gameplay footage for this, it's in the March PC Engine pickups video. The next one is Keith Courage in Alpha Zones. This is an American one. Because I dropped it on the ground. You can tell that because it's got mostly text on the front, and it says TurboGrafx on the back as well, of course. This is a platformer, and it's pretty cool. I think this was a lot cheaper. I got most of these games, actually, to be fair, from the same seller that I got the cartridge converter that didn't work the way I was informed it would. So that's why I ended up not sending anything back, because I wanted to keep most of the games, and I got a good deal all in all. But yeah, Keith Courage and Alpha Zones, cool platformer. Very colourful platformer as well. Pretty cool to grab this one as well. That was sweet. We also have Shada here. This is a Japanese PC Engine game. I keep them in trading card sleeves if anyone's wondering. Now, this was mislabeled. Like I mentioned, the seller misinformed me. They mislabeled this. They labeled it like Aladdin or something like that. It was completely incorrectly labeled on their listing. So there you go. And there is a translation patch for this one, I think. So this was one I think I showed on the video. I think I showed on the video the translation patch for this. And this is one I picked up just to try the translation patch for. So that's that. That's Shada, there you go. Never seen them before, UFO? Hey, no worries, Seacrest. Thanks for checking out the video, my friend. Appreciate you checking it out. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you next year, technically. See you later, buddy. Thanks for checking it out. And the last PC Engine game I picked up, or this one is TurboGrafx game, is World Court Tennis. Better artwork on the Japanese version, of course, but this is a tennis RPG. It's a little difficult when you start out in this game, but it's really fun. I really recommend this. It's a lot like the Mario Tennis or golf games on the Game Boy, which were RPGs. This is more of an RPG than a tennis game. Like, you get random battles, and the random battles are tennis matches. It's kind of cool. That's why I wanted to pick this up. World Court Tennis on the TurboGrafx 16. Now, in that video, I also picked up some N64 classics, which I didn't already have, at least in this condition. I picked up WWF No Mercy. I can't believe I haven't gotten around to playing this one yet. This should have been on my top 10 for sure, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. Definite classic when it comes to wrestling games. Before wrestling games became wrestling simulation games like they are now, they used to have arcade action on them. And this is basically complete. The boxes are a little beat up, so I'm not going to bother opening it up. I want to say I got this from CEX. I think I got it from CEX. Same with the other game I'm about to show you. And the box is a little beat up, so I'm not going to bother opening it, because every time you open it, you put a little bit of wear on it. But yeah, really cool to grab this. WWF No Mercy. You want to see gameplay footage for this, it'll be in the video for the PC Engine video. But yeah, very cool. Absolutely great games. Very sought after, especially in the box, and very well loved. So No Mercy. People have said that's one of the best wrestling games of all time as well. I also picked up WrestleMania 2000 as well on the Nintendo 64 as well. Same location for this one. Absolutely great game to pick this one up. Should be on my top 10, to be fair. This one might have slipped off of it. I just need to play these games a little bit more. Definitely wish I'd had these back in the day as well. They just sort of skipped me by. I think I was focusing more on PlayStation than N64. I've got the N64 classics like Mario 64 and Star Fox. But I think these games, that somehow they pass me by. That happens sometimes. Really good games pass you by because you don't know about them, or it's not in your circle of friends. Don't play it, for example. And yeah, I think I was mostly playing the wrestling games, the SmackDown games on the PlayStation at the time. But there you go, WrestleMania 2000 on the Nintendo 64. Much better shape of this box, I'll say as well. Much better shape. Also in that video, we had some PlayStation games. So first we'll see Alone in the Dark on the PlayStation 1. Now this was also in the PAL region on the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 1 with different graphics. Same game though, cool survival horror game. A lot of people really like this game. I quite like the original, which I have on the 3DO. But it's definitely really cool to have this. And it plays in a different kind of pace. It's not like super action orientated. 2 discs here. The teeth that hold the disc in place are kind of wrecked. That happens a lot. And the manual here. Survival horror game. Alone in the Dark. The New Nightmare on the PlayStation 1. Great to have that as well. Gameplay footage, of course, in the pickup video where I picked it up. And the last game I picked up in that video was Incredible Crisis. I want to say I picked this up from Faceless Monkey in Truro. Now, unfortunately, Luke, who ran Faceless Monkey in Truro, is no longer with us, but I will remember him greatly. He's a great guy, and it was really cool to pick this up. I don't think this was... No, I might have picked this up in CEX, actually, but I'm sure I've seen it in Faceless Monkey. I do have some Faceless Monkey pickups in the video as well, actually. It was one of my game hunting videos the last time I was there. And this is a series of, essentially, mini-games for Incredible Crisis. You're a family that's just trying to make it through a day, and series of bizarre and increasingly crazy events happen to you. And it's a bunch of mini-games. And it's actually pretty cool. It's a pretty cool game. It's a bit weird. But then sometimes these kind of games can get a bit weird, and it's definitely a bit weird. But yeah, pretty cool game and manual in there. It's really fun. As weird as it is, and as nonsensical as it is, and maybe a little bit outrageous as it is, it's really fun. So Incredible Crisis for PlayStation 1. Alright, we're coming to our first live unboxing video. Now, I mostly do my unboxing videos live, so for live streams, presently, I tend to not archive a stream that I do live because I consider things like live unboxings to be something that people might go back and watch. But if you're looking at, and I know people feel differently about this as well, But if you're looking at a multi-part playthrough of a game, there's so many people playing that game. I don't know how many people are going to look back and watch that. So it works out better to, especially with long videos. So I'm going into a little bit more detail on this, and I'll go into a little bit more detail on this later. If you have a long video, especially on live streams where people pop in and say hi and then they dart off, which is perfectly fine. But in the YouTube analytics portion of that, YouTube doesn't like that. It thinks you have less retention, and that's why I tend to leave live streams up if they're stuff like pickup videos or unboxing videos. Now, I like to do edited unboxing videos, but I simply don't have the time. Same for Dungeons and Dragons. I'll go into more detail on this later. But anyway, this was a live unboxing video, and it was the Castlevania collection. So this is very fun to play. Bunch of Castlevania games on this. This probably should have been in my top 10 actually. Rethinking my top 10 as we go, but I'll go over what I wrote before we start the video. Bunch of great games on this. So I did a live unboxing video for this, which is currently up on the channel. Still up on the channel, should be I should say. Has Castlevania, has Simon's Quest, has Dracula's Curse, has Castlevania 4, has Castlevania Bloodlines, as we call it the new generation over here in the PAL region. Kid Dracula, Belmont's Revenge, and Castlevania Adventure on this as well. Very cool. I think this is from limited run games. It says that on the front, I say think, and it definitely is. And it has the manual and the cartridge in there. I got a bunch of Switch games recently as well from a bunch of limited places. Mostly see them in my Breaking the Seal videos as a supporter exclusive. Alright, and that... So we've seen the March pickups, and that was an unboxing. Both in March. If you want to see the video game footage, the gameplay footage for the March pickups PC Engine, go check out that video. And you should be able to pick up, check out the live unboxing of Castlevania Collection in some respect as well, for some footage of that. The live pickups, of course, they're quite unwieldy because of the nature of being live. So this is one of the reasons I'm not showing gameplay footage for my top 10, is switching different systems with my capture card and my broadcast software and my Windows computer. Often doesn't like doing that. It's often more technical and more hassle than it's worth, so we're just going to show them on this in just one big video this time. We're going over to my April video game pickups. The video was called Game Hunter, and there's a bunch of Amiga games we picked up first of all. The first game we picked up was Bubble Heroes on the Amiga, and this is it's like a puzzle game, and it's kind of like Magical Drop. It looks like anyway, from the footage on the back. And unfortunately, the disc on this looks like it's been damaged from disc rot. At least it does appear that way. You won't be able to see it on this video. So I didn't attempt to play any of the Amiga games. Computers are harder to capture for anyway, because computers often have a lot of issues or need patches and what have you. So I didn't show any footage for this, because I don't believe this disc works. But I got this really cheap, and it was nice to have in the collection. A puzzle game, Bubble Heroes on the Amiga. The rest of these I think are floppy disk games. This was Gladiators. This is a fighting game on the Amiga. These cases, by the way, these cases in particular are very hard to open. I think I got these ones from Faceless Monkey Intro. Hollywood Poker there. Actual digitized cards. Got Skrull the Barbarian here on the Amiga. Kind of looks a bit like Ghosts and Goblins on the back there. And Warlord's Quest, again, platformer, kind of looks a bit like Ghosts and Goblins. A lot of the bar on the screen is taken up by text, so there could be a little more to it than that. Lovely cover art though. I also picked up a retro RPG bundle. I tend not to show gameplay footage for PC stuff, but there is gameplay footage in the April Pickups video, so if you want to check it out and then skip past the computer stuff, you can get to the stuff I'll show you in just a moment. But this was a bundle. It says retro. These aren't really retro. These came out in the 2000-ish era, and these are a bunch of these combined. But I think this is the first physical version of these. And getting this bundle was like £2 in CX or something. And because CX I often visit is in Truro, which is near Faceless Monkey, which is why I get them confused sometimes. And essentially, if I wanted to pick this up digitally, it'd be more expensive. So it's cool to pick this up, physical version of Deadly Sin Skyborn and Deadly Sin 2 Shield of Faith. And it is a disc here, it's not a download code, so that's good. Disc included for those PC RPGs. Now, the games I did show gameplay footage for. We have an NES game, Kung Fu Master. Scrolling beat 'em up game, of course. Great game on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Did not currently have this in the collection. It is a PAL free screw version if anyone cares about that sort of thing. Great to have it. Absolute classic. This is the original like black box style version with the action series. Absolutely fantastic game. Great to have it. It's a classic. It's an absolute classic. Kung Fu on the NES. Alright. Next one, or Kung Fu Master is its full title, I believe. The other one's a bit confusing actually with the title as well, because this is actually titled The Jungle Book, whereas the actual cartridge says Jungle Book. So where do you put it on the shelf? It says Jungle Book on the header, but PAL free screw version. Now, the end labels. It's an issue in the PAL region. Master System games don't have end labels. N64 games don't have end labels, as we know. PAL Super Nintendo games don't have end labels as well. And yeah, it's really awkward to sort out your cartridges unless you're going to put stickers on them yourself for the end labels. Anyway, this is a Disney platformer game. Very cool. Very good. The Disney platformer games were often... You remember the NES Kung Fu, Daniel? Fantastic game. The NES platformers like Lion King and Little Mermaid, they were pretty good. They were doing really good at the time. So very cool to have this. The PAL A version, by the way. We had two PAL versions over here. PAL A and PAL B, if that's not complicated enough. Different region, locking for different versions, which is just fantastic. So there's that. Next one I picked up was a Game Boy game. And it is Aliens, the Thanatos Encounter. Thanos Encounter? Thanos Encounter, I'll say. Game Boy Color, so plays on Game Boy. Color only. You can tell that from the transparent cartridge. If it was black cartridge, it will play on the Game Boy original in black and white, and the Game Boy Color in color with a custom color palette. And yeah, cool. It's a cool game. It's an overhead shooter in the Aliens franchise. This one's a little hard actually, if I remember, but it's fun. It's an overhead shooter, and it's pretty good. I played this one for quite a while actually, because I really wanted to get further into it when I was recording gameplay footage. Didn't quite make the top 10 though. Hard but good. So that's Aliens Thanatos Encounter. Alright, the next one I picked up was another Game Boy Color game. And it is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Side-scrolling beat 'em up this game is. And spoiler warning, this one did make it in the top 10. I actually streamed this all of the way through on a live stream, although I didn't archive it, but it was a lot of fun to play. And it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up in the Buffy franchise. This game, it seems hard when you first start playing it, but when you figure out how to fight enemies, it gets a little bit easier. Like the boss was the easiest thing in the game, the end boss, it was ridiculous. But yeah, cool game, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's like got some platforming elements, but it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up for the most part. Great game. Next up, we have Mario Tennis on the Game Boy Color. Now, often the Mario-style games on the Game Boy to their console counterparts would be RPGs. So that was often the way on the Game Boy for like the tennis and the golf games. Hey, Jernan, happy winter holidays, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you dropping by. And yeah, this game's pretty cool. You're gonna work up your way to face Mario in the tribulations of being a tennis player. Very cool game. I'm glad they made like the multiplayer console games and the more like RPG-esque handheld games. These ones fit the kind of like top-down style graphics, the simpler graphics of the system, a little better as well. So kind of cool. That's Mario Tennis on the Game Boy Color. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a TV show in the States, Daniel. Yeah, it was an American show. We had it over here as well. It was a good show. It was based on a movie as well that was very different. You know a lot of people that love the RPG elements of the Mario Tennis on Game Boy Color. Jonah, for sure. Yeah, it's a different crowd for those games as well, and they're very good as well. the next game we have is a blank cartridge, and that is Montezuma's Return or Revenge, I forget. Returns! It's a puzzle game. Now, for the Game Boy, you had grey cartridges, which worked on the Game Boy, and they worked on the Game Boy Color with a generic color palette. You had black cartridges, which worked on the Big Boss Raid. Hey, Big Boss Incarnate, thank you for the raid, my friend. How you doing, Chris? Welcome, Big Boss Incarnate. J Ignition, ready for the ignition. How are you guys doing, my friend? Big Boss with the cool emoticons there, the latest MVL emoticon with Mr. Freeze. Andrew, how are you doing, buddy? Welcome. Thanks for coming along on the BB raid, my friends. Thank you guys for checking it out. I'm going over some of my pickups. ZZ Zombie, how you guys doing as well? Hope you guys are doing well. Hey, did you guys get anything over the winter holidays? Are you getting anything for the winter holidays? Any presents, if you will? Raiders of the Big Boss Incarnate. Thank you so much, Big Boss, for the raid as well. Big Boss as well, a golden holder of the golden coffee cup. How about that as well? Highest of the original ranks of the coffee club members using those emoticons. He can use my face however he wants it to. That's as in, the emoticons. The emoticons, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, thank you so much, Big Boss Incarnate. Appreciate it, my friend, for the raid. Hope you guys are doing well. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. There's a button probably on the YouTube thing, is all the things. Hey, Mr. More Gaming, how you doing, buddy? Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining the Big Boss raid of bringing down the house. Golden Boy here, a special member of the MVL Club. You get to use all of my face, Big Boss, all of it. Wait, no, don't take that out of context. Anyway, thank you so much for the raid, my friend. You guys are awesome. Thank you for checking out the stream as well. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And I was just explaining the difference between Game Boy cartridges, actually. So grey cartridges were just on the Game Boy, and they're black and white. If you played them on the Game Boy Color, you got like a generic color palette. They're normally like 2 different variations of color and different palettes. Black cartridges were black and white on the original Game Boy, and on the Game Boy Color they had a special color palette. And then you got transparent cartridges, which were they only worked on the Game Boy Color, so they were a little more complicated. I may need to copyright my face, Jonan. That wouldn't work because I have an identical twin, so it definitely wouldn't work. But then there's the precedence. Does my twin use the face? Anyway, this is a puzzle game on the Game Boy Color. Pretty cool game. And yeah, and for anyone just joining, we're going over some pickups that I got throughout the year, having a look at them. If you guys picked up anything cool recently, let me know as well. I'll be excited to hear what stuff you guys have picked up towards the holiday period. I know Big Boss recently picked up that Callisto Protocol that Prodigy was telling me about. First time Prodigy told me about it, I didn't know it by name, which I think was in an unboxing video he was telling me about it. But in hindsight, I remember seeing it on a PlayStation video and thinking it looked exactly like Dead Space. Spoiler, I've been streaming Dead Space a little bit as well, and I recently picked up Dead Space 2 on the PlayStation 3, which also has Dead Space Extraction on the disc. I got the limited edition. Action figures. I hide my face. Jonan. The only game you got recently was Animal Crossing for the Switch, CM Chris. I know that series is really, really popular. And I'm more of the Harvest Moon side. I don't know if there's much of a rivalry going on there. But I had Harvest Moon back in the day. So I sort of saw the appeal. I know that a game a lot of people really love is Stardew Valley. Kathy has been telling me to get Stardew Valley for a while, actually. Or everyone's been telling me to get Stardew Valley for a while. But yeah, it seems like a good game. Speaking of good games, the next one I picked up was Pokemon Pinball. It's a damaged cartridge, however. So this one's supposed to have a battery cover. You put a battery in for the rumble feature. We all like rumble features, right? I like stuff that goes rumble. Wait, what? Vibrates. This is like my Wii controllers, you know. Yeah, this is a pinball game. Pretty good pinball game. It's supposed to have a battery cover here. The battery cover's missing, and you put a single battery in, and it will rumble, I guess. Good pinball game though. Pokemon pinball game. Can't wait for Dead Space Remake, Daniel. I know a lot of people are waiting for that as well. Kathy loves the story of season games. Yeah, I know Kathy's really into the into those farming simulator style games. I was recently, well, not recently, it was quite a while ago. I was trying to get through the GameCube Harvest Moon game. But there's a couple of glitches in that game that make it quite frustrating. I know the Switch is getting a new version of that, so I'm kind of waiting for that. It's getting a newer version of it. I hope it comes out physically, but I might be out of the loop on that one. You bought Alan Wake on the Xbox 369 UFO. Nice. Alan Wake Remaster actually came out a little while ago. I'm really happy about that. I was hoping they would do Alan Wake's American Nightmare as well, but they didn't. But yeah, who doesn't love a good rumble, eh, Mr. Moore? Ayo, wink, wink. Had that back in the day, Jonan. Alan Wake, I love Alan Wake. It's a good game, like really good. It's one of the games. I'm not normally a story guy, if you know what I mean. Like if there's like too long cinematics, I like go to sleep. But Alan Wake was different. Like it kept me engaged the whole time. Like I really liked it. I kind of got an Alan Wake style jacket going on, haven't I? Or Max Payne style jacket. You know, same thing basically. Yeah. So the next game I picked up for robot fighting fans was BattleBots. We had a show called Robot Wars over here in the UK, which was the same thing. And this game is it's not as good as I was hoping, but it was still kind of fun to play this game. I know that there is a Robot Wars PlayStation 1 game I want to play. I don't understand why BattleBots or Robot Wars doesn't have like a modern console game where you just do massive robot fights. It's like the marketing makes itself, right? I don't understand why they don't have a great game, but yeah, this game it's a little more simple than I would have liked it to have been. It is a Game Boy Advance game, and it is based on an existing intellectual property. And sometimes they just come out as companion games, and so maybe a little less time is put on them. But yeah, I love watching robots just go at each other. So I enjoyed picking this up nonetheless, and it's actually kind of confusing. There's a bunch of BattleBot games. Some of them have the same name, so there's that. Anyway, that was that for BattleBots for GBA. I also picked up The Incredibles for the GBA. This is a beat 'em up game. It's actually pretty good, surprisingly good. And yeah, like I said, Disney always does pretty good work with their games, or at least they did. And yeah, this is a pretty good beat 'em up game, pretty good game for Game Boy Advance. You ordered Dead Space Remake. Yeah, to your point, Big Boss, new games are coming out at quite expensive prices. New consoles at that as well. The current systems games come out at like £70 or something these days, right? Got that on the PC. We never get it to run. Yeah, that's another thing, Jonan. I tend to shy away from PC stuff because I when it comes to like patches or like turning off your printer to make like the game run, it used to drive me nuts when I was playing like Doom 3 back in the day, or like Oblivion, and like, you know, your antivirus software to kind of keep viruses off your computer would like do a pop-up on the screen, and it would like make your game minimize and crash. Man, I got so much of that back in the day that it just... There's a lot of PC games I love though. A lot of cool obscure RPGs that only came out on the PC though. A favourite of mine, Nocturne, so to speak of one, for example. Horror games are great. One of my favourite genres for sure. I do miss Robot Wars as well, Joan, and it's a shame it had a comeback a while ago, but it didn't quite stick. But anyway, the last game I picked up from the that pickup video, which was the April pickup video, Game Hunter, was the ludicrously expensive Rodea the Sky Soldier Wii and Wii U version. And it's ludicrously expensive in the collector's edition, which I got. This game reminds me of a lot of Nights of Dreams. And basically, you don't want the Wii U version of this game. You want the Wii version. Because the Wii version uses the Wii controls. The Wii U version of the game has you constantly landing. And the Wii version has you in the sky all the time. The game plays a lot better on the Wii. I can't put it any better way. The Wii version plays a lot better. And the Wii version was only available in a double pack because it was finished but never released. And then they made the Wii U version. Well, technically they made the 3DS version and then made the Wii U version. But they made this double pack to release the original game by the company that started making it before it was taken over. The Wii version's really good. The Wii U version, I mean, the Wii U version's fine, but if you can play one of the two versions, you want to play the Wii version. That's the version to play, and it's only available in the double pack. But yeah, it's really good, really good. This should have been on my top 10, but it might not have been. But I did play and complete this on stream. It was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. A pickup games you never heard of, Big Boss. Yeah, you know what? I got that in Faceless Monkey and Truro, and I got it at a really good price as well, because it was a game I wouldn't have picked up for the eBay price. To say that for sure. You think that game was made by Yuki Naka? Hence the similarity, Jonan. Man, it's a really good game. It's a shame. It's something I wish Nintendo had gone a little stronger on, because it wouldn't have been as obscure. If they pushed it a little more, the original Wii version that is, because it came out towards the end of the Wii's lifetime, that's why it didn't get released. And they made it more like it would have been. It would have done much better, but because of the Wii U version being different, it just kind of didn't go so well. Do I have a website I go to get controllers in good condition, Big Boss? Essentially, if I want to get a controller in good condition, most of the controllers I use for a lot of systems, to be fair, so like my PS2 controller is my original PS2 controller. My Nintendo 64 controller, I think, is my original Nintendo 64 controller. Mega Drive, Super Nintendo 2. But what I would normally do is, I would go to places like CEX actually is okay for it. CEX sells like second-hand stuff, but they have a return policy. Like if something's broken, I think you can return it in like a year or 2 years or something. They won't have the best prices CEX. They'll go by like eBay prices. But if you're after a controller, you've got a pretty good chance that it's at least been tested to the point where it's working. And if it's not working, you can return it. And that's probably what I would do. Probably. I want to say I would go to that more than I would go to eBay, because if you get something from eBay, it's going to be put in a box and it's going to all over the place before it gets to you. I've seen that when I ordered the Castlevania PS4 collection a while ago. I ordered that from Limited Run Games, and the case arrived completely destroyed. Which one Castlevania was it? It'll be on the shelf. Castlevania... on the shelf. The Castlevania collection. There we go. So this thing arrived. I don't think I did any videos about this, but yeah, it the trading card in this, for example, I don't know if you guys can see that, but the trading card arrived like completely wrecked. Like it's like I folded it back, but it's like folded in two. And the game case arrived pretty bad as well. So you guys should probably be able to see the cracks on the game case there. It's not great. But yeah, I don't like... Switch games are a lot easier to order because Switch game cases are smaller, so they don't get wrecked as easily. But PS4 cases and anything that's like big enough to get ruined will get ruined. But yeah, actually, two Limited Runs credit. I did post about this on social media, not complaining to them directly, but they did reply to this saying they would send me another one, and I pretty much said, no, there's no point. It'll just get wrecked again. But I appreciate the offer. Anyway, there's that. You got CX over where you are, Big Boss Incarnate, or CX had it in Ireland, but there's nothing similar to where you're at in Germany. Oh, that's fair, Big Boss, yeah. Essentially, if you have any second-hand video game shops, that's probably the best choice, because then you can hold it in your hands before you buy it. I wouldn't recommend eBay. eBay, I mean, they do make new controllers for retro systems. Retro BitDo, 8-bit do. There's, for the Nintendo 64, there's the Brawler 64, which I've heard good things about. But to me, it's those new controllers are really good, but it's you gotta use the original controller, right? To be fair, like my PlayStation 2 controller, the rumble doesn't work on it anymore. It's like it's all rumbled out. Oh, MVL, he rumbled too much and he will rumble never again. But it still works. I think maybe the shoulder buttons are sticky on it, so I think I should really use a different controller. I got it in, I think, 2000 because it was like the Millennium Silver. Everything was silver then. You know when like DVD players were silver and like they started making TVs silver? Like everyone's like, oh, it's 2000, let's make everything silver. And then they realised how stupid the border looked for silver on a TV and they started making everything, you know, black again so it wasn't so like nasty. Yeah, that was a phase, wasn't it? Had a few knockoffs before Big Boss, but never feel the same. Yeah, that's true. My brother bought a knockoff GameCube controller actually, and it was just unusable. He was like, oh, I got this GameCube controller so cheap, and it was just unusable. It was actually kind of funny. But yeah, that was the April pickups video, Game Hunter. If you want to see any gameplay footage for any of those games, as a matter of fact, I think I did a comparison between the Wii and the Wii U versions of Rodea in that video, so you can see the difference. That's from my April pickups video, Game Hunter. And the next one I did was a live unboxing for The Takeover, which is a beat-em-up game on the Switch, a new game. This game was a lot of fun. This game is really cool. It's got like, it almost looks like claymation style graphics, if you will. It's really, really fun. It's Streets of Rage-like. I mean, Streets of Rage was really, really good as well. The new Streets of Rage game. I liked it anyway. People felt differently, but I liked it. And this was a cool beat-em-up game. Great to have this one. And it's on the Switch. I think it's also on the PS4. But yeah, really cool. The manual just went flying out of this one. Cool game, this one. I like this one a lot. There's silver GameCubes. My GameCube is silver, actually, to that point, Jonan. Yeah, I have a silver GameCube. And it came with... I think I mentioned this before. My GameCube came with... Now, this is another weird thing, actually. Another weird thing. I'll show you something else weird. Whilst I'm at it. So my GameCube came with Double Dash. And this came with a Zelda bonus disc. But there's nothing on here except for this sticker, which I originally took off. So I had to remake this sticker. So imagine that sticker's not there. There's no way to know that there's a Zelda bonus disc in this whatsoever. Except when you open it up. There's a Zelda bonus disc in there. Such ridiculous packaging. So I took this off. I took the sticker off back in the day because I used to take stickers. I just hated stickers. Took them off. But I remade the sticker on there because the sticker makes it sticker. Spine. I forgot the Zelda bonus disc was in there because there's nothing on the spine. I actually forgot that this had this in there. But yeah, I've had this back with the Double Dash bonus pack when I picked it up back in the day. You love the silver PS3 controllers, Big Boss. You know, actually, the PS3, did you have the 6-axis or the DualShock controller for the PS3? Because as a regular user of the PS2 controller, there's something about the PS3 controller that just doesn't do it for me. And maybe it's because I have the 6-axis one, the one they had when they had a little trouble with the DualShock technology. They had a rights issue over it, so they didn't put it in, and then they put it in later. I think you have to send off for that disc back in the day. Yeah, I think that you could also mail away for it to get a separate case for it as well, Jonan. I think that was from Club Nintendo, I want to say. But it did come with the Double Dash silver console I bought from Game back in the day. I think it was Game, or it might have been Electronic Boutique. But yeah, I got that when it came out, and it was just so weird. Such a weird packaging. The next one I did was, I'm going to call this a review video, and I did a review of this new Mega Drive game called Metal Dragon. This is an overhead game. There's lots of in-jokes for this. There's lots of in-jokes for like Metal Gear Solid and things like that. It's an overhead action game, very Neo Geo-esque, ported to the Mega Drive from Kai Magazine Software. And I bought this myself. I just really wanted to play it and review it. It's really good. And it came with a couple of extras in there as well. They're included in the cartridge and manual. And yeah, this game's really good. Like, if you've got a Mega Drive and you want a new game for it, I thoroughly recommend Metal Dragon. It's a really good game. And yeah, it's very 90s feel to it. Yeah, Jonan, for sure. A lot of in-jokes in this. There's a lot of like, making fun of various things around the period. You know those cases, Big Boss? Yeah, these were hard wearing, not like the cardboard boxes for Nintendo games for sure. But yeah, I enjoyed this game a lot. That was a lot of fun, so I did a review for that. I also did a live unboxing for Shenmue 3 from Limited Run Games, which took about 2 years to arrive. I also picked up a soundtrack for this. But to be fair, guys, this came out 20 years or so after Shenmue 2. So, love Shenmue 1 and 2. I have streamed both of those, actually, I think. Loved it. Oh, there was an extra that fell out there. I think it was a collectible trading card. This, by the way, is the only version from Limited Run Games that comes with the DLC on disc. So this is the only version that does that. Now we've only got to wait another 20 years for Shenmue 4, right? We only had to wait 20 years for Shenmue 3. In another 20 years we might get Shenmue 4. I can't wait. Cool. Anyway, the next one of my favourite games of the year. If I didn't put this on my top 20 list, I don't know what's wrong with me. It better be on my list. If it's not, I'm going to alter my list and put it on there. Metroid Dread. I did a live unboxing for Metroid Dread. Very fun. This game was awesome. Very hard. Very hard. 20 years another crowdfunding campaign. Probably Jonin, yeah. A Metroidvania style game, of course. Man, I remember the end boss of this. I honestly thought I was never going to beat the end boss of this. Took a couple of tries. Good game, very hard, but, you know, it's what you expect. Glad to complete this. I think I 100% of this as well. I think I went and did everything. But yeah, Metroid Dread. Love the return to form. I know Trevor is a big fan of the Metroid games. He loves the Metroid Prime games, 3D games especially. But this was a nice return to form. And it was Metroid 4, the game that was never made, essentially. Released, they went back and revisited it. Really need to play that, Jonan? Yeah, it's good. Forewarning, pretty hard in places. Yeah, but, you know, it's fair hard. It was a lot of fun. So, the next one was another live pickups video. Another live unboxing video, sorry. And that is the House of the Dead remake. Gotta be honest, this game was very difficult to play. And it comes from the technology they wanted to use on this. Now, to be fair, you don't have to use the motion controls on the gyroscopics on the Joy-Cons. The problem with this game is, if this was on the Wii, it would be fine. But because this is on the Switch, the Wii has infrared control, which is how it does its pointer. Infrared is really good, but you need a sensor bar for it. Hey Tony, how you doing, buddy? Welcome, hope you're doing well. The problem is that the gyroscopics of the Switch is not the same technology as the infrared. If they released like an infrared, like Zapper equivalent, this game would be great. But because it uses gyroscopics, you have to constantly realign it. The settings were very difficult. I will say, I posted on my unboxing video better settings that I discovered after doing my unboxing for this, because I completed this on the unboxing. But yeah, this game was pretty difficult to play with the settings for it, unfortunately. Shame, but it's still playable. It's just not as good as if you were to play it on something like a Wii or on a CRT with a Zapper. The next video we're going to talk about is my June pickups, which was called Amiibo Overload. I won't be showing the Amiibos in this live stream, but I will say that there is, if you are an Amiibo hunter, the Corrin Player 2 Amiibo, which is currently on eBay or reseller price for like £200. If you're in America, you can get it from Target now, a reissue for like £15. I'm very jealous because I can't do that because I don't live in America, but if you can get hold of that, I recommend picking it up. Because, yeah, that Amiibo is quite expensive because of its availability. But anyway, I won't be showing the Amiibos for that. But I will show my pickups. The first one I'm going to show off is for the Game Boy Advance. And it is Advanced Wars 2. I absolutely loved Advance Wars back in the day. And I know the Advance Wars 1 and 2 remakes for the Switch got delayed. Yeah, I fell down that rabbit hole, Jonan, for sure. For the Amiibos. Don't have as many as I would like, because I kind of like to grab them as I find them. And it's like Nintendo first party games are quite expensive to pick up. Same thing with Amiibos, pretty much. I don't know how many games titles I have. Are there still so many you want to own, Tony? Yeah, to be fair, I have a list of games I'm looking to procure on my phone. And this is just the ones I'm actively looking for. And this is the list of games I'm actively looking for, and it is endless. Like, this is, yeah, on and on and on and on. And, yeah, this is just games I'm actively looking for that I don't currently own. A lot of games. And, yeah, lots of stuff. And, yeah, that list, that just scrolls on and on and on. Advance Wars 1 and 2 had a blast. Daniel, yeah, they're really good games. Tactical based games, I'm glad to have this in the box. Would probably maybe like to stream these at some point as well. They're a lot of fun. And glad to get that one in the box. Basically, I want to own them all. Yeah, Jonah, yeah, essentially. All of the ones I want to play, that is. Not too interested in like every copy of FIFA, for example. But any game I do want to play. It's like as many games as I can play, you know, in the time I have. Another Game Boy Advance game here is CT Special Forces. This game plays exactly like Metal Slug. If you played Metal Slug, you'll probably enjoy this one. Plays exactly like it. It's in the box, no manual in this one, but it's loose cartridge in there as well. But still, great to have that. This is also on the PlayStation 1. Might be better to own it on the PlayStation 1, but I found a really good deal to grab this at the time, so I did. So yeah, CT Special Forces, basically a Metal Slug style game. Also, Metroid Fusion. Now I already had Metroid Zero Mission. Don't have that in the box, but I wanted to pick this up. I got it in the box. The Metroid Game Boy Advance games have become really expensive for no real reason. It was around the time that Metroid Dread came out. Resellers started upping the price of the Game Boy Advance Metroid games. And they're really, really good. This is a really good game. But there's no reason for this game to be like over £100. It's like the Pokemon games. Pokemon games are some of the most common games out there. They're so common. And for some reason, boxed copies, even though, I mean, there's the argument that boxes get thrown away. And it's hard to get them in the boxes, but resellers have bumped up the price of like Pokemon games and Metroid games. There's no reason, because they're not rare. They're not rare in any way. Rare and expensive are different things. So if this is an expensive game, it's not a rare game. It's because resellers have upped the price of this through selling. But yeah, great game. Fantastic game, Metroidvania style game. And yeah, continuing the story there. You've completed this one, Jonan? Nice. You're waiting for Advance Wars for the Switch, Jonan? Yeah, it should be out at some point for sure. I think it's completed, they just haven't released it yet. The next game I picked up, I think this is a little bit of a hidden gem. Evil Twin Cryptium's Chronicles, or Cryptium's Chronicles. It's a very dark, I would almost say like Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas style platformer, 3D platformer. And you can transform into various creatures in this game as well. It's got like that Alice in Wonderland style aesthetic with like clockwork soldiers and like creepy monsters. A very cool game. Don't see anyone talking about this. It can get pretty hard in places though. But PS2 platformer. Very cool. Evil Twin on the PS2. Interesting game here. It's a Zappa game. Police 24/7. And this one had some like really weird ways to play. Like it could use its own like special movement thing, I think, kind of like motion control gimmick. But yeah, this is a Zappa game. And it's pretty cool. It's enjoyable, I like these. You had to play Evil Twin one day, Linda? But yeah, I do love Zappa games. One of the reasons I have a CRT TV to play Zappa games. So yeah, good to have this one. More Metroid. We have Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. I completed all of the Metroid Prime games on stream. So I picked this up specifically to stream. I think I did 1 and 2 on the GameCube and 3 on the Wii. And in hindsight, I wish I did them all on the Wii version, because the Wii version is a little easier. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. These games are definitely really hard in places. Definitely really hard. First person shooter. But still really cool to have. And I know Trevor's a big fan of this one. Really, this one only plays in 60 Hz, even though it's on the GameCube. So you need to have a TV that supports PAL 60 Hz mode. PSP game here. Ignore the special edition cover and how weird this looks. It's a fighting game. Iggy Towson, Elegant Fist. It is a side-scrolling beat-em-up game. It's actually pretty good. I don't know anything about the material this is based off. I just heard good things about it. And I was going after a bunch of Japanese exclusive PSP games, and I managed to not pick up anyone except this from the ones I was trying to procure. I called you Jonin, Daniel. I apologise. What a terrible thing to call somebody. I'm so sorry I called you Jonin. That's a terrible thing to say. Sorry, Daniel. I can only deeply apologise. Jonin Monkey, what a terrible thing to call somebody. Anyway, Cold Fear is the next game on the original Xbox. And this, I also streamed this. Didn't archive the streams, but this was a survival horror. Underrated, I want to say. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. This got a bad rep. Hey, says Jonan. This got a bad rep as being like a Resident Evil 4 clone. But it was in development before Resident Evil 4. So it definitely wasn't a clone. But it plays a bit like Resident Evil 4, but it's on a ship. The one thing this game could have really done with is a map. This game needed a better map. It needed a map that showed where you were. Other than that, great game. Great game. I also completed Cursed Mountain on the Wii, which is another relatively unknown survival horror game, which is pretty good as well. So there's that. Survival horror game. If you're into survival horror games, you might want to check this one out. Cold Fear. If you like Resident Evil 4, you'll like this. This should have been on my top 10, actually. Should have been. Also picked up Gauntlet Dark Legacy on the original Xbox as well. This was an enhancement to the other Gauntlet game that was released on there. And yeah, Gauntlet, it's just top-down hack and slash action. It was lots and lots of fun. It's okay, Daniel. I mean, I'm truly sorry, Daniel. I'm truly sorry. Forgive me. Here's the manual and disc. This game's a lot of fun, actually. Good multiplayer game. Good multiplayer game. Yeah, this would probably be the sort of thing me and Jonah would have done on the Danger Zone. Hey, Trevor. How you doing, buddy? Welcome. You know what it is? I mentioned Metroid earlier, and Trevor appeared. How are you doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you dropping by. And the next one is the last pickup from the Amiibo Overload pickups video from June. Was Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. Love a jacket, Trevor. Thank you. Appreciate it, my friend. This is one of those jackets that looks better but is not hard wearing. So, like, I can only wear this. I could probably only wear this for videos because it's, like, super thin. Like, if I went outside, it would just, like, turn to dust. Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. Compilation of Monkey Ball in this package. I know that Brian Trusty really likes his Monkey Ball games. Balance-based games. This one also has some mini games like tennis. Stepping on Mario's turf. What's going on here? But yeah, some party games. It could be a good party game as well. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Alright, that was all from the June pickups. June pickups Amiibo Overload video. If you want to see the Amiibos for that video, and you want to see gameplay footage for every one of those games, go check out that pickups video on the channel. Now, I did a live unboxing next. Whatever I've done with the game. Here we go. For Final Vendetta. Another beat 'em up game. I think this one recently got an update for difficulty. Although I could be wrong. It's a very cool, retro-inspired beat 'em up game for the Switch. And I did an unboxing for this as well. You're back, Seacrest. You escaped. Hey, welcome back, my friend. Appreciate you dropping by again. Nice beat 'em up bundle here. And yeah, pretty cool game. I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed this one a lot. I always enjoy beat 'em up games. A lot of fun to play. And that was that. The next video was in July, and it was a game hunting video, and it was called Arcade and Coffee. So after I left Nuki, they opened up an arcade and coffee shop bar. After I left the town, they opened an arcade and coffee place. After I left, they opened an arcade and coffee place. Anyway, so I don't currently, when I'm here, live there, but whenever I'm down there, obviously I like to visit it. Now, this video is a little bittersweet actually, because the first two pickups, the N64 ones, I got from Faceless Monkey and Truro, and it was the last time I saw Luke. And Luke was an amazing guy. I used to chat with him all the time. I used to really enjoy his company, and Luke is no longer with us. So I miss him a lot, and I miss, you know, at this time of the end of the year, I'm looking back at, you know, people that aren't with us anymore. I know Seacrest knew him as well, and it's a sad situation, but the last time I saw Luke was in my July game hunting video for Arcade and Coffee. And I picked up Diddy Kong Racing and Duke Nukem 0 Hour. So Diddy Kong Racing was a great game. Definite must-have in your collection. I was really happy to pick this up. And I got a good deal on this and the other game, as I always got a good deals from Faceless Monkey, because this was in bad condition. And so I cleaned it up. And it works great. Awesome pickup, Trevor. Yeah, fantastic game. There's gameplay footage for this, I think, in the pickup video. I think that's when I started doing gameplay footage in my hunting videos. Sorry, game hunting videos. So in my game hunting videos now, for the most part, I have gameplay footage as well. Except in the one that's coming early next year, because it's mostly Commodore and ZX Spectrum games. Spoiler. I won't have gameplay footage for that one. But there's that one, Diddy Kong Racing. You like that one a lot, and with all the time trials and stuff, Trevor? Yeah, Luke was an amazing guy at Seacrest. It's definitely like, anytime I go to Truro, it's different without him being there for sure. I will say Faceless Monkey was reopened by members of his family, so that does continue. But yeah, like he was someone I saw a lot, so he will certainly be missed. I also picked up Duke Nukem 0 Hour, which is not as good as the first-person Duke Nukem games, in my opinion. But this one is N64 exclusive, so I think this one is normally quite sought after. So I got a good deal on between. I can't remember what I picked them up for, but it was a pretty good deal. Luke used to always hook me up, so he was great for that. And yeah, Duke Nukem 0 Hour, another good pickup for the N64. I'm trying to bolster my N64 collection. A lot of games that I should have had. I think I was concentrating on PlayStation at the time. I had the same thing with PlayStation 3, like I concentrated on the 360, because my friends, you might know him as Odin in D&D videos. He was an Xbox guy. So essentially, I for multiplayer purposes, I mostly picked up Xbox games during that period and not PS3 games. Similar situation with the PlayStation 1. I often picked up PlayStation games instead of N64 games. It's hard, you know, with multiple systems to buy everything at once. However, going back for the most part, pretty easy. You know, pick up PS2 games, original Xbox games, pretty cheap. N64 games, though, anything Mario related, still pretty expensive. So maybe you should pick that up at the time. But you can't pick up everything, but I do desire to. Also picked up Star Renegades. This was from a shop which moved location in UK. It was in the video as well. And this is like a roguelike game. It's one of the games you have to like get game overs for and get better at. I heard good things about this, so it's kind of a bit of a mystery buy for me, but pretty cool to pick that up. And I also picked up the Turrican collection. This also came out in 2 collections of Strictly Limited games, I think. And those collections, however, individually will probably cost you a bit of money. Whereas this was pretty cheap, and it had most of the games I wanted. It doesn't have every version. If you want every version of these games, like these ones I think are mostly the Mega Drive versions of the games, or the Amiga version. So I think it has Super Turrican for the Super Nintendo, Mega Turrican from the Mega Drive, and then Turrican and Turrican 2 I think are the Amiga versions. If you want the different versions of the games from the different systems, for example, you want to pick up the Turrican Anthology 1 and 2. But I think they're only at Strictly Limited games. I think they were limited quantity and they're much more expensive. Which is fair. So I ended up picking this up and it was a pretty good collection. Turrican games, of course, are shoot 'em up games. Very hard but very fun. So there's that. And that was all of the pickups from my July game hunting video, Arcade and Coffee. Also in July, I did an unboxing video for what will almost certainly be in my top 10. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. New game from the guys that did the new Streets of Rage. .mu. They're also working on Metal Slug Tactical game, I think, which I'm very excited about. And that is Shredder's Revenge. This game is so good. You can pick it up on anything, so I definitely recommend picking it up. I think I got this from either Strictly Limited? I think I got this from Strictly Limited. No, I might have got this from somewhere else. I apologise. If you watch my unboxing video, you will. My memory's too bad. You'll see it. It might have been Special Reserve Games or something like that. It'll be in the video. It was. The point is, I got it from somewhere where I got it. You know, when it came out. A lot of people didn't get this or the Cowabunga collection when it came out, because in America it was harder to get or something like that. The limited run takes a while to make stuff for sure, but it was cool. Heard a lot of good things about this journey for sure. Very good. Shredder's Revenge is a new game for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles side-scrolling beat 'em up game. Really good, short game like most beat 'em ups are. That's what you expect, but it's really fun. This game was very decent, Trevor. It was for sure. Definitely a great game. Recommend it to anyone that wanting to pick up that sort of thing. I also did a live unboxing in September of the Cowabunga collection. This is a bunch of games from the previous Turtles games. If you want to pick up these games individually, like Hyperstone Heist on the Mega Drive, it's ludicrously expensive. But there's a bunch in this. Turtles in Time, arcade games, absolutely amazing. And yeah, fantastic. Another one I recommend picking up. Even if you're like slightly curious, you'll find something you like on this. The Game Boy games are really good as well. Oh, I'm making a lot of external noise from moving on my couch here and dropping game boxes. That's what you're thinking of, Jonan? Yeah, also really good. I recommend both of them, to be fair. If you can get them, good. I recommend it. The Turtles games, they had a bit of a resurgence. It was really cool. In September, I also did a review for Demon Throttle. And this was, I think this was Special Reserve, or I forget. It'll be in the video. And there's lots of different, there's Signature Edition games, Special Reserve games, Strictly Limited games, and Limited Run games. I'm getting mixed up thinking about it right now. But this was supposed to be a limited release. I gotta be honest, this was available everywhere, so I was kind of, I had the fear of missing out about getting this. It's an NES-style top-down shooter. It is a good game, but I could have got it from Game in the UK. It ended up being in Game in the UK. I could have just got this from a Game. So this is not nearly as limited as they would have led you to believe. This was a very easy to get hold of game. It was supposed to be an only physically produced game that would never be digital. It is being released digitally as well. There's a lot of fan backlash about it not being released digitally, so it will be released digitally on the PC, I think. So yeah, a little bit of fear of missing out on this one. It's not like the game is terrible. It's just the marketing for this was a bit of like played on your fear of missing out. You know, like the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection that just went up on Square Enix store at like 1 AM our time and was sold out as soon as you clicked on it. By the way, regarding the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection that was sold out in like a second with Final Fantasy 1-6, Square did that before with the Secret of Mana Collection, the Mana Collection rather. They did it as an exclusive on their store and later released it as its own collection in like PlayAsia and everywhere else. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that Pixel Remaster Collection released elsewhere, even though it was supposed to be a store exclusive like the Mana Collection, so bear that in mind. Anyway, you can get this game anywhere, so it was pretty good. I did a review of it, it's okay. Alright, with that said, let me scroll down on my notes here. In October, we had a pickup video called Super Games. The first game I picked up for that was MiG-29. It is a Codemasters release. One of the games I had to do on the Retro Freak, actually, because it didn't work. It's supposed to have, and I don't know if you guys, there's no way you guys will be able to see it, but in here, there's supposed to be a switch to change the region. It didn't have that. So I can't play this on my original NES. I opened this up and it didn't seem like there was anything wrong inside of it, although I'm not an expert, to be fair. But it didn't seem like anything was missing. So I'm not exactly sure why this doesn't work. It's an unlicensed cartridge, but I couldn't get it to work. But it's nice to have in the collection. It's a shoot 'em up game, and it goes between like Afterburner style, like behind the ship, to top down as well. It switches between them, although it's pretty hard. But it's a cool game. It's nice to have in the collection. I've actually got some CX. Kind of a rarity in my region to find that. The next game I picked up was Alex Kidd in Shinobi World. This is Super game on the Master System. It's a platformer. One of those games that looks so colourful, you'd think it's 16-bit, honestly. So good. I love these games. There's no manual in here. I might say that about every Master System game, to be fair. But it was cool to pick this up. Alex Kidd got all over the place. He went in Shinobi World. He went in a bunch of different environments. He was sort of Sega's mascot for a little while until Sonic came along. That and I'm forgetting the name of the other one. Kidd. Alex Kidd, and there was, I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting the other one. But yeah, they had another mascot before that. Gorvelius, Valley of Doom. This is an RPG. Action. It's got a password save, guys. Password save. You haven't played Miracle World so far? This one is very cool. It's got like top down. Alex Kidd game on the Switch. Who am I thinking of? It's not Wonder Boy. Who's the other mascot? I don't want to dive into my Mega Drive games to remind myself. Yeah, so there is there's a couple of remasters, remakes I should say, of like Wonder Boy games, and Alex Kidd games as well. I think. Remake a Miracle World, Jonan. There you go. This is an RPG, and this is very cool. I was glad to pick this one up actually. And only manual. Would have loved to have the booklet here, but it's cool to grab this. And this is basically like a Zelda style game. So there's a couple of games like this on the Sega systems, and Golden Axe Warrior comes to mind, or Golden Axe. I forget the name of that as well. There's a Golden Axe one on the Master System. It was a bit like this as well. Yeah, it was cool to grab this. It was a very cool game. I was after it for a while. It's gonna bug me too much if I don't look up what this character was, but I can't reach my mouse because I put my mouse control. Let me see. What I'll do as well is I will post my link, because someone asked earlier about the games. Post my link. That's a link to my game collection that at this time of this video, so you can see what games I have on the system. So yeah, if anyone's wondering how many like Mega Drive games or what have you I had, that's a way you can see. I'm trying to think of the Wonder Boy-esque, or was it Alex Kidd in the first place? And I'm just getting confused. I'm sure there was another one. You had Alex Kidd, and then who else was there? I'm going off on a tangent here, but I'm just wondering what am I thinking of? No, maybe I was thinking of Wonder Boy. Maybe that's what it was. I'm sure it'll come to me. I'm sure it'll come to me anyway. I think I've just got confused over Alex Kidd and Wonder Boy. But anyway. It's the nature of doing a live stream. Sometimes I lose track of what I'm doing. But anyway, I dropped the link in the chat there as well of my game collection. If anyone wants to see what games I do have anyway. But yeah, Sega's gone through a couple of mascots over time. You know, Alex Kidd and Sonic and others, which I'm sure have escaped my memory. Is what my point was. It just doesn't reach my brain at the moment. Anyway, God of Elias is a cool RPG. Zillion 2 is the next game. Here, the Tri-Formation here. This is an always runner. We'll do it live, Jonan. Yeah. I'll think of whatever I was thinking about when I'm off stream and just kick myself. This is a cool game. It's like an always runner game, if you will. Like you're always moving in this game, which makes it a little harder, but it's pretty cool. Zillion 2, the Tri-Formation. I feel like I might have just got mixed up with there is Alex Kidd and there is Wonder Boy, and there's like some confusion I had there, but I know for sure Sega has had other mascots as well. Fatal Labyrinth for the Mega Drive is the next game here, and it is it's kind of like well, I guess it's a bit like Gauntlet, but you kind of like enter rooms and they make the rooms as you go. It is RPG-esque. You do like get new gear. This one was really cool actually. It's one of the ones that was hard to put down. Sometimes I find that way, that I know if I really like a game, but it's like hard to put down when I'm recording it. And yeah, I only got the cartridge here, no manual. That was a bit awkward. There you go. Fatal Labyrinth. Yeah, the good old names that could be like metal soundtracks, if you will. Like metal music, that would be pretty cool. Predator 2 picked this one up as well. I want to say I picked this up in Harry's Toy Chest in Truro, but I could be wrong. Cool game. I think I also have this on the Game Gear, but man, my brain is really going at the moment. I can't remember many things. So there you go. This was an interesting one, and it is a top-down shooter. It's on a lot of different systems. Pretty cool. Also, to be fair, guys, the longer I go, the more my concentration goes as well. Alien Syndrome on the Game Gear is the next game picked up. This is on all different systems. Now, there was a bunch of remakes for Sega games on, I want to say, the PlayStation 2. They did like a 3D Golden Axe and stuff. But I think Alien Syndrome, or it was either this or another game, wasn't included in the PAL version because it was too bloody, and they wanted to make the rating of the game down so that people from all ages could buy it, which is a shame. So there was a 3D remake of this that never came out in the UK. Alien Syndrome, cool, another kind of overhead shooter. This is the Game Gear version. Good artwork on that one as well. I'd love to get it boxed, but getting everything boxed, it's kind of hard sometimes. Super Bomberman 2 was the next pickup from that video before I got distracted. Another Bomberman game. There's lots of good variations in the Bomberman games. This one is classic Bomberman action. Splatterhouse. Yeah, I think. Did Alex Kidd go to Splatterhouse World? I'm going crazy now. Alex Kidd went all over the place. There was a on the Nintendo. There was a Chibi style Splatterhouse game actually. That was something. But yeah, I don't know for sure, Trevor. there's the Bomberman game. This is really good, and this was a lot of fun. And Super Bomberman is pretty good. I've got Super Bomberman 1 and 2 now, both unboxed, but I'd like to get them in the box, if possible, for sure. Trevor's going to love this one, and it is Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo. Now, weirdly enough, something I'm not confused over, is that this game has dual language support on the PAL version, and essentially you have to have 2 languages on the subtitles on, and it'll either be like English and German or what have you, and sound of the Final Fantasy music, da 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 da, sort of thing. Trevor, the level up music, Final Fantasy. Yeah, this will have to. This is one of the few games I know that runs 2 languages at the same time, and yeah, so that's the PAL version. Of course, it'll also run a little bit differently as well. This game has some Mode 7 in the opening sequence as well. So Mode 7 is technology they use to scale the background. We need to get onto this one, Jonan. Yeah, there's a lot of games I need to catch up with as well, to be fair. Or a lot of games I need to remind myself on as well. The last game I picked up in that pickup video was a Metroidvania style game, and it's called Scourge Hive. And you're another lady bounty hunter in this game. It's a dual screen game. This was also on the Game Boy Advanced. I wouldn't mind getting it on the Game Boy Advance, to be fair, because then I could actually stream it. I can't stream it on the DS. But this is a pretty cool game. It's a Metroid style game. Like, it's weird. It's definitely a hidden gem. Like, I don't really hear anyone talking about this game, but it is pretty good. And yeah, it's a Metroid style game. It's pretty good. It's got a kind of isometric angle to it, which makes it a little bit harder. But pretty good game. Scourge the Hive. Don't mind this one. Definitely need to do this one at some point. I will say when it comes to my top 10, my top 10 won't include games that I haven't had a decent chance to play. Or actually, to be fair, when it comes to top 10, I spoke on how bad my memory is, and it's been evident throughout this. But or slip of the mind. But there's definitely games we've gone past that should be in my top 10, but we'll see what should be in there, or will be in there when we get to it. So, that was all of my pickups from October, which is a video called Super Games. If you want to see gameplay footage for those games, go check out the October pickups video Super Games. Also in October, we unboxed the Mega Drive Mini 2. Now this system was a lot harder to get your hands on than the first version. They made this in limited quantities. And unfortunately, we didn't get the Luna games on the overseas release of this. It would have been really nice to get the Luna games, because the Luna games were in English. But essentially, Sega didn't want to pay the licensing to the creator to put them on this Mini. Having said that, there's still so many good games on this that it's definitely good value to money. So, yeah, thoroughly recommend Sega Mega Drive Mini 2. And honestly, I hope we get another one down the line. I honestly do. So lots of great games on this. I do love these plug and plays. A great officially licensed way to get some physical versions, or at least not physical copies, but a physical thing that you can use. Great controllers, great system, and everything plays pretty much perfectly. So great to have that. I would say that there's a couple of games that were censored and changed a little bit, which is unfortunate. I think Streets of Rage 3 was one of those games. But for the most part, the games play pretty well, and you can play both versions of the games, like Japanese or like American or European. So pretty cool. In November, I did a live unboxing for something I got from Limited Run Games, Blood Rain 1 and 2 Revamped. The last unboxing video of the year, as it would be, but not the last live stream that I'm keeping archived. So this is Blood Rain 1 and 2. I'd already played Blood Rain 1, and if you want to check out more Blood Rain 1, you can check out my Halloween special review video where I reviewed the original Xbox version. And Blood Rain 2 I recently streamed and completed. That is not archived on the channel, but I did play through it. Like I alluded to earlier, if it's like a lot of gameplay footage, long videos, it's not necessarily going to be something that's going to be checked out. But it was cool anyway. Anyway, very cool. Do I find out why? So yeah, to your point, Trevor, BloodRayne 2 did slow down. I don't know why, or if that was in the original game. But it seemed to me like some of the lighting effects, like with certain weapons, slowed the game down. Shouldn't have been a thing. I hope they patch it out, but I don't know. It could be. You'd have to look online. Maybe the PlayStation 4 versions don't do that. Not sure, but yeah, that was my only minor issue. It's still great that they came out. That still available to modern systems. You get them on Steam PC, PS4, and Xbox, I believe, and Switch. I also picked up, although it's not in this video, the Fresh Bites version of BloodRayne Betrayal, their Metroidvania game. So I've got to try that one as well. You know, it's kind of funny though, because BloodRayne 2 ends with an open ending, and there wasn't ever a sequel. But then Nocturne ends with an open ending as well. So, you know, Terminal Reality, unfortunate series of events there. Yeah, to your point, Trevor, it was affecting the boss battles a little bit to slow down. So I hope they fix it. That was all of the unboxings. The last one is from December, and it is the last game hunting video. So we've had the last pickup with Super Games, the last unboxing with BloodRayne 1 and 2, and December was the last video I did, last edited video I did rather, for the year. So on the last video now, after that we'll check out the top 10. First game for that video was Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. Man, this should have been on the top 10 actually. PAL A version. I got this from, I want to say Exeter. Free whole version. Screw holes. Great game. Great side-scrolling platformer. You pick up objects, can hide in them from enemies. Absolutely amazing game. Can't say enough good thing about this. Chip 'n Dale 2, ludicrously expensive. If you ever find that for a cheap price, pick it up. Pick it up. Anyway, great game. Glad to have this. I also picked up Shadow Warriors on the Game Boy. It has a different title, I can't remember it overseas. But it's basically a Ninja Gaiden style game. Pretty good. It being slower on the Game Boy actually makes this game, you know, a little easier, at least from the offset. So that's nice. Another great game, Shadow Warriors on the Game Boy. Fantastic. I picked up a box only, so I'd already picked up this game. But I picked up a box only for Iridium 2, so I completed my copy of this fantastic shooter. I streamed this game and completed it all the way through, but it's not archived on the channel. But that was a lot of fun. This is a shoot 'em up game. Really good. Thoroughly recommend it. Love this game. But I won't say too much about this because I've already played it and completed it through. And I've already spoken about it in a pickup video, I think, before that. Actually, I think Iridium 2, I think, is the one last year that ended up being on 2 videos by accident, where I botched it thoroughly. So never mind me misremembering in the middle of this video. And this was a massive botch last year. And I ended up showing it on the Retro Freak and on the Game Boy Player, because it wouldn't work properly on the Retro Freak. And on the Game Boy Player in different videos. I just forgot. I think I recorded it, remembered it didn't work properly on the Retro Freak, and then recorded another video on the Game Boy Player on the GameCube. So yeah, thoroughly botched that last year. I think it was last year. And had it on two pickup videos. So yeah, only time that will probably happen. Yeah, so 2 pickup videos, Iridium 2. There you go. Alright, the next game is Star X. Box only, so I'd already shown this game. This is basically a clone of Star Fox. If you like Star Fox, you'll love this game. This game is really good. It's essentially just another version of Star Fox. It's really good, really impressive for the Game Boy Advance. Super impressive for the Game Boy Advance, actually. Really good game. Never thought I'd find the box for this. Iridium 2 and Star X. Expensive games in box. I was fortunate enough to find a place. You'll see it if you watch the game hunting video. Fortunate enough to find a place where the staff was really nice. And he allowed me to just buy the boxes. I think this box, I think he only charged me £2 for this box or something. It was great. Really happy about that. Star X. It's a Star Fox style game. Really good. Recommend it. Alright, a couple of games I picked up for like next to nothing because they were really cheap. X-Men, the official game. This one's interesting. It's basically there. I'm not going to open it up, but basically everything's in there. Also picked up X-Men 2, really cheap. Wolverine's Revenge. This one's got more kind of beat 'em up to it. The other one had a bit more platforming. At least from what I've played. And then I also picked up from a no, this was also from the Exeter place, I think. RoboPit 2. This is like an arena fighting game. 3D robots battle. Hey, it's robot fighting time again. Budget release. No manual in this one, but it was still cool to pick it up. And, but wait, there's more. This one I picked up in Game Zone in Plymouth, and it was Hot Shot. Now, if you watch my game hunting video, the last game hunting video I posted, you'll see this is very similar to another game. And I show comparisons between this game and a couple of other games. So that's pretty cool to check that out. Phoenix released a lot of these games. 3, 2, 1, activate. I know Jonan is doing the Robot Wars introduction there, but for some reason I went Thunderbirds there with my voicing. I don't know why. Anyway, this game is exactly the same as another game that was on the Shoot collection on the PlayStation. Same with the Western game, and that was remade on the PlayStation 2 as Dead-Eye Jim. And I show all of that, which was a lot of work, but I showed it on my December game hunting video called Want It. So you can check that out if you want to see. And then the last pickup of the year was Pinball Power. It's a pinball game. It's called Golden Lagresse in Japan. And it's a pinball game that I almost dropped. And it has a story mode to it. Thunderbirds is also really good at Jonan. You know, I think I had a Thunderbirds game last year that was meant to be in my pickups video that didn't make it on. Sometimes I record stuff and it doesn't make it, you know, the footage is not good enough or what have you, or there was some other issue. And I think a Thunderbirds game, it's like a shoot 'em up game, didn't make it on. It might have done. Anyway, this is a pinball, budget pinball game, pretty good. And that's every single pickup. I broke the case. There you go, guys. Every single pickup for 2022. How about that? So the last thing we're going to do, the last thing, is out of all of those games, we're going to pick 10. The top 10. Previously this has been a different video, but this time around, we're going to do it in the same video. The same video! What do you think is going to make the top 10? Let's see. In no particular order. In no order whatsoever. And we'll see if I can actually find them, because after I've shown them, I've just put them in a mess around myself. In my top 10, we have... And by the way, before we get into the top 10, the suspense is killing you. These will not necessarily be the 10 best games of the year. This will not necessarily be the 10 best games on the list. Specifically, games that I have played enough to rate on my list. So there might be some really good games on that I've shown so far, but I haven't played enough of them, or I just forgot about them. Hey, Cormumu, how you doing? Mike Matei played Armed F for the PC Engine. Yeah, Mike Matei plays a lot of cool games. Former cohort of the Angry Video Game Nerd. And, right, anyway. First up, in no particular order, and I previously haven't included hardware in my top 10, but this time I am. So, the first one is the Evercade VS. Kind of a cheap pick, because I'm including all of the Evercade VS cartridges I picked up that I haven't shown here. But yeah, this system's really good. The only downside is it can't play the Namco Collections 1 and 2. The only downside. If it could, it would be perfect. I will also say that they recently released a Capcom collection, but it's only on their new one, the Evercade EXP, and it's built in. That's a bit of a shame. That's another kind of nuisance that they released a Capcom collection and it's digital only when they're kind of like physical is their gimmick. But for the most part, I love this thing. So number 1, in no particular order, the Evercade VS console that plays cartridges and fully licensed games. Love it. Alright. And that was from January, my January video. Number 2 is Solar to Robo Red the Hunter on the DS. Really good game. I'm definitely going to put more time into this. I love the furry characters. I love the theme of this game. It plays really well. And it's a sought after game. If you can find this at a good price, I had to do a double take on my game hunting video and go pick it up after the fact. But this game is really good. I really like the way you throw things as your main attack, throw enemies in this as well. Hidden Gem, Jonan, yeah, for sure it is. And yeah, really happy about this. So Solar to Robo, Red the Hunter. Number 2 on my list. Alright. Number 3. Let's see if I can actually find it. Wherever I have put it. Making a mess here. Alright. Number 3 is Buffy the Vampire Slayer on the Game Boy Color. Played this one start to finish. It might not be the best game on the list here. Oh, by the way, Solar to Robo was also from my January video. This is from my April video. This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up game, and you know what? For what it is, a Game Boy Color beat-em-up game, this was really fun. I had a lot of fun playing this. It gets pretty hard in parts, but I enjoy playing it. Hey, I love you too, Trevor. Love you guys. Thanks for checking out the stream as well, my friends. Appreciate you guys being here as well. It really means a lot to me as well for you guys to check this out and spend some time with me. So thank you guys so much. But yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Number 3 on the list. Number 4. Let's see if I can find where I put it. Because my organisation here has become a little bit erratic. Alright. Number 4 is Rodea the Sky Soldier on the Wii. Specifically the Wii version, guys. Specifically the Wii version. I got this from Faceless Monkey, of course. And it's a really good game if you give it a chance. It has a very unique control system that takes a little while to get used to. Don't play the Wii U version. I hate to say it. Like, it seems mean to say it. The Wii U version is better graphical style. Like, it looks nicer. But the Wii version is the one to get. And if you want to know how to get the Wii version, you have to get the double pack. If you get the double pack without all the accessories, it's less expensive. Play the Wii version, not the Wii U version. Because it controls a lot better. On the Wii version, you have to keep landing. In the Wii U version, you have to keep landing. In the Wii version, you can stay in the sky as much as you like. It's a great game. Rodea the Sky Soldier, a bit like Nights into Dreams. Fantastic game. On the Wii. Alright. That was number 4. Number 5 is... I had no organisation when I put these games down. So, we'll see if I can find number 5 around here somewhere. It is going to be a Mega Drive / Genesis game. You had the Wii U version. Yeah, I recommend checking out the Wii version, Jonan. It honestly is, like, controls night and day differently. Like, the end boss was really hard. I'm dropping stuff all over the place here. The end boss was a bit of a nightmare, but other than that, like, it plays pretty well. Number 5. 5 times. We're getting a little Booker T action here. Metal Dragon. From Kai Magazine Software. New game for the Mega Drive. Top-down shooter. I streamed this start to finish. Love this game. I even got the bad ending when I practiced this game before I streamed it, and when I streamed it, I got the good ending, so I'm happy about that. Overhead shooter, specifically from Kai Magazine Software. It's a new game for the Mega Drive, comes with some little extras in there as well. It's a nice package. They're making some other games as well, so you can check them out. They make a bunch of newer games for the Genesis or Mega Drive, if you will. Very cool. Works on both, but plays a little different speed. The reverse streamer's curse. I know, right, Jonan? It's crazy. I got the practice and I was a little better at it, so I managed to get the good ending. I think, unless I'm misremembering, which we all know I have bad memory, evident from most of this stream. Alright, guys. That was number 5. Number 6. And that was from... So, Buffy and Rodeo and Metal Dragon were from April videos. Number 6... our 66 game is Cold Fear. Winter appropriate, if you will, at the time of this recording. From June. This is a survival horror game. It didn't do too well when it came out because it was labelled as a bit of a clone of Resident Evil 4, but it was in development beforehand. It's a good game. The map is my biggest problem with it. If it didn't have a map, if it had a map rather, it has a map in the manual, I think, actually. Like something like that. I think there's a map in the manual, which doesn't help. Yeah, there's maps in the manual. They should have put an in-game map showing you where you are. For an original Xbox game, you know, that generation of systems, it should have been a thing. But yeah, cool game. I played this from start to finish on a live stream that wasn't archived, but it was a lot of fun. So yeah, recommend it. Cold Fear, number 6 from June. From July, number 7, we have, see if I can find it, it's around here somewhere, got a big mess of games. We have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. I've also completed this game, might have been on a live stream, might not have been, and it's really fun. It's a beat-em-up game, classic style, retro inspired, but it's really good. Thoroughly recommend checking this game out if you haven't already. It is a lot of fun. And the music's good, the graphics are good. And the gameplay is awesome. Shredder's Revenge on the Nintendo Switch. Pizza power, indeed, Jonan. That was from July. From September, obviously it's going to be the Cowabunga collection. Number 8 is the Cowabunga collection. And yeah, just the pure value on this collection. Hyperstone Heist, Turtles in Time, everything you want to get on here, the Game Boy games. There's loads of extras in this as well. This is extras done right. I did an unboxing for this, obviously, in September, so you can check it out. Such a good value for money on this collection. I really can't argue with it, so good. Speaking of value for money, number 9 is going to be, wherever I put it, it's a little bit of a cheap, but it's the Mega Drive Mini 2 European version. I wouldn't mind getting the Japanese one as well, to be fair. Same with the first Mega Drive Mini. Anyway, Mega Drive Mini 2 is my number 9, penultimate pick. So good, such value for money. The Shining Force CD games are on here. Shining Force CD games. There's some new games on this as well. New games were never released. They got some good versions of Space Harrier on here as well. All of the Sega mascots that you can and can't remember. I'm still trying to work that in. From October I did an unboxing of this. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. If it's still available, you can still get it. You can get it for cheap. Get this, pretty good. Number 10. Just because of the comedic value. Hot Shot. 10. Alright. This is a shoot 'em up game. And man, it's a lot of fun. And there's a lot of games like this in the Shoot collection, for example. And the Western games and the PS2 remake of the Western game that is Dead Eye Jim. But it's still a lot of fun. You know what? This game's not bad. One of the games I spent a lot of time recording gameplay footage for. More than I needed. Especially when I had to deal with different versions anyway. So that's why I ended up liking this so much. But yeah, Hot Shot for the PlayStation 1 for Phoenix. And that, my friends, is at the end of the yearly pickup specials, my top 10 video game pickups. So, lastly, before we adjourn and we look towards the new year on the new horizon and what things might come in the future, especially for the channel, couple of quick mind channel updates. And I saved this for last because I know not everyone's so interested in the channel updates. So, a lot of things I do on the channel. I do a lot of different things. One of the things I love, and I personally really love doing, is Dungeons and Dragons. I love Dungeons and Dragons. However, you actually, fortuitously, the bot dropped the link to the D&D channel in the chat. So there's a D&D channel, the Company of Might and Valor, that I made for the D&D content moving forward. And I'm in a little weird space where I have, at this time, there's some D&D content on this channel still, and there's some D&D content on the new channel. In an ideal world, obviously I would like to, on this channel, you know, getting rid of the live streams and having edited content on the D&D channel. Now, having said that, starting a new channel is a big undertaking. Editing videos is a big undertaking, especially when they're really long videos. So, I can't say for certain what's gonna happen with the D&D channel, but I will tell you that I love playing D&D, and I am committed to doing D&D content. So I'm still recording D&D videos. I've got a lot of unedited footage, let me tell you. Like, the cutting room floor is as messy as my floor is right now with all of these games on it. That being said, the D&D videos take a long time to edit. And my game hunting videos and my pickup videos or what have you, my fully edited videos for the gaming channel, are kind of taking precedence. So that's where my focus is. So I am gonna still be putting out D&D videos, but I don't have a time frame. So you'll have to bear with me, guys. If you love the D&D stuff, definitely show your support to the D&D channel. Help motivate in that instance. But one of the reasons D&D isn't on this channel anymore is because this is a channel, the name of the channel is MVL Gaming. And even though I consider D&D to be gaming, a lot of people might have interests in my live streams only, or in my edited videos only. And when you diversify your content too much, people kind of get confused as to what you're aiming at. Now, this is fine if you are let's say if you're, Jack Black is a celebrity, for example. Jack Black could do a channel, he could do D&D, he could do whatever he wants. He's a celebrity, he's really famous, and so it doesn't matter what he does. Same guys to very, very popular D&D stuff, Critical Role. It was started on Geek and Sundry, a celebrity Felicia Day driven channel, and I'm not discrediting any actors like Jack Black, and I'm not discrediting the hard work that people like Matthew Mercer did on Critical Role, but I'm putting it into perspective that these were very, very publicly driven projects, and from a perspective of just from a relatively unknown standpoint, putting D&D content onto the interweb and hoping someone's just going to search for the exact title of my video. You guys all know what it's like to put videos on the internet and for them to be completely invisible. And essentially, the D&D videos are very long. That's one of the problems with it. That's one of the problems that leads me to my next point about live streams. The reason I don't archive live streams anymore is live streams are very long. The D&D videos are very long. If those videos are being clicked on for just a moment, and then, someone's like, oh, this is cool, thumbs up. Appreciate it, for sure. But on YouTube side, YouTube looks at that and sees bad retention. So that's one of the reasons why, I've been not archiving live streams for the most part, unless they're, unboxing videos. which I would love to do edited, but I don't have time to do unboxing videos edited. I would love to do them edited, because they would definitely be better. But I keep live streams on. I'll keep like maybe stuff like this on. But for the D&D stuff, you know, it's long videos. I wanted to do an archive of my past live streams as well, and maybe in a different location. But, you know, working on all these different projects at the same time, I'm a one-man team. I'm not Critical Role. You know, that's a team of people. So we'll see. I definitely have desire to continue the D&D stuff, and it's always gonna be there. Like, I am a D&D player. I am a D&D dungeon master. I am a D&D. It's always in my mind. When I'm not live streaming, I'm always like drawing D&D characters, or I'm talking to people about D&D. It's always something that's going on in the peripheral. So that is essentially what it is. It's an update at the end here that I'm giving you, that there will be D&D content, but it will be when it comes. I can't commit to a schedule. Even with my regular channel, the content that has come in, I think I've got one game hunting video scheduled. So I have a game hunting video, by the way, coming for early next year. But after that, I actually don't have any videos filmed that need editing for my main channel. So it's a little uncertainty coming forward. But anyway, it leads me on to my next point with live streams. Like I just alluded to, live streams are really long. And people think differently about live streams, but I've always been edited content first. And that's how I started my channel, and that's what I like to think about as my content. When it comes to live streams, they're really long videos, and I don't realistically expect people, unless you are a celebrity, you know, for example. You know, I'm using Jack Black as an example, but, you know, it's not to any detriment of anybody, it's just an example. Because he is a celebrity. People would watch it because of, you know, that. If I was to put, let's say, if I was to do the Elder Scrolls game, I'd do like 30 parts of it, like several hours each. It's not realistic that that's ever going to get, someone's going to go, yes, part 29 of Oblivion, I can't wait, 3 hours I put aside for this. No, that's silly. And that does badly on the YouTube analytics side. So I might find a place to put live streams archived, because I've got lots of videos I've done for live streams. For some of them that I have not archived, for some of them I have still recorded, especially survival horror games. So we'll see. But again, it's like focusing on this, D&D, and then that. So I can't tell you a certain future for that, but if anyone wanted to know why live streams, unless they're unboxing videos, and unless they are something I feel that can be reviewed, like perhaps this, then that's why I don't archive live streams anymore. Having said that, the unboxing videos, I would love to go over and redo those as fully edited videos, because I know they'll be better that way. Because the problem with live streams is you never know what's going to happen. You might mix up on stuff like I did. And I would love to do this edited, but again, I don't have time for that. I'm a one-man team. And yes, and then the only other thing I want to talk about is the specials. So this was my 2 specials consolidated into one. So this will be my top 10 and my 2022 pickup specials in one video for this special occasion. Because I am doing less pickup videos going forward, you may have noticed it going into this year. Because I've just already got so many of the games that I am looking for, even though I'm looking for so many games, I'm only picking up games that I like, for the most part, that I like to find out in the wild. I don't like to, you know, shop online for the most part, because it's a different experience. So there's the potential of less pickup videos next year, but I have been including pickups at the end of my game hunting videos going forward as well. So those now have game hunting pickups at the end of my game hunting videos with footage as well. So that's the thing that's going to be happening. I'm hoping to do some more review videos. I get a lot of requests from emails to do review videos. For the most part, I like to do stuff that I am very interested in, and that's why I've only done a couple out of the ludicrous amount of requests. I've had ridiculous requests. I had a request to review a game called Fap Titans, which was a game that said it could be played with one hand, and I definitely don't think that's going to be appropriate for YouTube. So just to let you know. But there's been videos I've put to the side for a long time. I wanted to do videos to explain things like retro scalers. I wanted to talk about these sort of things and why these sort of things, or perhaps these sort of things, would be better than like cables I have reviewed in the past. Now I'm more educated on it. So in the past I did a video about a PlayStation 2 cable from Pound Technologies, and now that I know that the RetroTink cable is so much better, granted they're different cables and it's different pricing, I want to do a video to show that, but that's going to need a lot of comparison footage. It's going to take a while to do. I've been putting it off and I really want to do it. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll do that in the future. But yeah, so what you can expect from MVL in 2023, it's going to be mostly edited content, hopefully. More concise, more to the point. I will still be doing live streams. I don't have any time schedule for doing live streams. I just do them whenever, and I'm really bad at this because I'm really bad at like posting on social media. I don't post my live streams on social media when I'm going to go live or anything like that because I'm really bad at social media. It's one of the things that I probably need to be stronger at. But I just go live whenever, so you can still expect lives. They just most part won't be archived unless they're unboxings or something. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun in 2023. Hopefully, you never know. Like I've always said, the only thing certain is nothing certain. Sting said that in the last WCW. So we don't know. But what I can tell you is I really appreciate you guys watching these videos, sticking with me, listening to me ramble, listening to me do crazy comedic reviews. Hopefully I'll be doing more of those in future. You might see, because I'm doing less pickups, there might not be a end of year special like this next year. I might do a winter review instead. We're not sure. We'll see what happens. But thank you guys. All of you guys, you know, not just the guys who support me on the YouTube channel memberships and the Patreon. Thank you guys. You do get exclusive videos as a thank you from me to you. But thank everyone for watching, for hitting the like button, for being with me through the whole year. It brings me to tears. But really, I really do appreciate you guys checking out the channel throughout this year in 2022 and beyond into 2023. So we're going to have some adventures in 2023. There's at least the next pickup video which I have filmed, and there will be at least some, you know, crazy live streams that might not be archived and all kinds of antics and planned videos that I have going on in the noggin but not come to fruition yet. But anyway, thank you guys. And really though, thank you guys, because like I wouldn't still be here if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you so much. You guys mean a lot to me. Like you guys to me are the best community in the entire world wide web in the world. Thank you guys so much. I've had a blast. It's been a lot of fun. And yeah guys, happy holidays, and I hope you have a good new year as well. So this has been a crazy year. It's been a crazy year for everybody. Times have been, you know, trying as well. It's not just that. And I look back as well to, you know, what we've lost during the time as well. In particular, I was sad to lose Luke from Basis Monkey. But anyway, guys, thank you for being with me, getting through this. Hopefully next year is going to be a brighter new year. And I hope you guys continue to stay with me. I hope you guys stay strong yourselves. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks for being awesome. And that about wraps it up for this 2022 video game pickups special for MVL Gaming. I want to do a special thank you as well at the end here to Big Boss Incarnate for the raid whilst we were going on. As well, I just want to say thank you especially to all of the channel members and the Patreon supporters, but also to everybody, because all of you guys are awesome. It really means a lot to me that you guys took time out of your day to spend with me, so thank you so much. I have been MVL, and this has been a wild ride, and we're looking forward to 2023. So, with that said, I can close all of my note files here for this video. That I have shown you every game picked up from 2022 and a top 10, and outlined some of the plans moving forward to 2023. I'm giving you a little bit of a spoiler as to what we might see in 2023 videos moving forward. I certainly hope to do some more comedic style reviews. I hope you guys enjoyed the recent Halloween special I did. There may be more sort of that type of thing, more characterization coming forward, we shall see. But for the most part, guys, sincerely, thank you for watching. Thank you for being awesome. I have been MVL, and I will catch you next year. Ugh. Goodbye, everybody.